someday. See, there you go. We have a new opening.
That is fantastic.
Because I was getting tired of the other one, and that one is, it's like, yeah. All right. So, hello everybody, and Mr. America and all the ships at sea. It is Fluno over here, and his indoor abode now because
we have newness going on. I've surrendered. No cigars, no smoking inside here. Very comfortable. No noises except for the AC and the fan, maybe.
Yeah.
So
and it is I, Dennis. And first off, before we get into any of the things, because there's actually a bunch of stuff tonight. Hey, Autobot's here. He decided to come because I guess there's no soccer tonight. Oh, because now are we down to what, the 8 or something like that? I guess we're down to 8. Hey, it's Tony Imperial. He has the best stuff. I'll get to your stuff in a little bit, Tony. Because I have those pictures still. Hi Jamie Cat. How you doing? Yeah. So first off, I haven't done a video. I haven't done a video yet on the Chrysler 300G that I've been working on for a friend of mine. But I had to give an update because I didn't film any of this because this was too depressing. So I've done all this work and I got it running better. And when I got it running better, this is what happens to cars when you get them running better. You know nothing about them. And no one has done any due diligence on the car before I got to it. So what happened is that I got everything running well, started up, and it is blowing smoke everywhere out through the valve covers, through the breather, through the PCV. It is belching smoke everywhere. It's like I'm at a Kiss concert in 1978. It is insane. And I had to flat out tell the owner, the rings are gone in this car. And we finally exposed it by making it run well because the carburetors were messed up. The timing was messed up. Everything would hide bad rings because you would never know because everything else was hiding them. And so what happened is I did a compression test on it. And the first one was 126 PSI, and minimum normal is 160. This is a over 10 to 1 engine. And then I got 100 and I got 130 on number 3, 100 and I think like a little under 120 on number 5, and number 7 was a whopping 43, and I did it twice. I ran it twice and went, yeah, it's 43. There's no compression in this cylinder, none. And then the even side was 80, like 80, 88, 92, 114, and like 106.
The standard compression of my 78 Chevy when it rolled off the showroom.
Yeah, exactly. So, needless to say, I'll be having a video of yanking this motor from the car and getting it rebuilt.
No.
Yeah. And the funniest thing, the owner calls me today. He's like, I talked to my buddy Dave and he said, why don't we just get a crate motor? I said, because you have a car that's only 1 of 1,500 built and you can't buy a crate 413. And if you think you could buy a crate Chrysler engine for under 10 grand, you're high. Because like we can get this thing rebuilt for less than $2,000. That I'm pretty sure of. Because I have a Mopar guy, Merritt, who have my video. Well, if ever you haven't seen it yet, that's his. I have a video of his picnic that was on 426 that had 154 cars, 160 cars at it, and people did burnouts after I did a nice little video there. That's Merritt, actually. I have Merritt there. Merritt actually has a little bit of a shop, and he has all Mopar guys. That is where I'm bringing this engine because Mopar engines are different. All you guys in the chat that know that, all you guys in the chat that know that, yeah, you know what I'm talking about because you're not just going down the Brand X guy and having rebuilt the Mopar engine. There are certain things you have to do on a Mopar engine. So this is going to be it's going to be a challenge. This is going to be happening in the next month or so. So I can't wait. I can't wait to yank a RB engine. These engines stripped, with no intake manifolds on them. I'm going to leave the exhaust manifolds just because, but this engine will weigh about 600 pounds. This is gonna be a heavy bitch. This is gonna be a heavy bitch to pull out. So this is gonna be yeah. I noticed that we're both wearing the same shirts. I just grabbed.
Yes, and I want to throw out though, thank you, because I got a couple replacements here, and I'm not a big guy, but it's like the other ones.
They have weird cuts.
Weird cuts. I don't know, but these are nice. I think they're made in Bangladesh.
Yes.
Very nice. So came right to my door, just like all auto parts now. Forget going to the store. Just send them right to your mailbox. So, but real quick, how was your 4th of July, Dennis? And everybody?
Oh yeah.
Everybody have a good day?
Oh, my 4th of July was great, except if you can't really see on camera, the hostess for the party shut a sliding glass door. She didn't know I was behind her, and we were going to go out front, and I walked straight into a sliding glass door. So I was actually pretty sober too, so it actually hurt. But it was a great. I went to a nice party. Had cocktails, shot off fireworks, a lot of food. Had a fun day. It was nice. It was very air conditioning. You had a fun day too.
It was a wonderful day. I was actually in the Tampa area. Actually, I made a post on it. They went all out. Good friends of ours, and we actually, to thank them, we gave them a little gift from not from the post office, but the semi-quincentennial, just wanted to say that, a tree ornament that you can get. And Dennis, I almost contacted you, but it was a last-minute thing. I'm coming home on Sunday, and out of nowhere, I just said, what a burger. It was like the engine. It just locked up in my head, and I stopped and I got it. Easy to get in and out.
Yes.
It was not crowded.
Nope.
It was right off the interstate. I was like, well, if it's going to be a pain, I'm heading right back. And I was like, do I text? I'm like, nah, you know what? He's probably busy with family or recovering, whatever. So next time. But it was wonderful. So, but it was. My friends put on a great gig. And then I just crashed it. Our buddy Dance, who's now up to I think, I'm not joking, I think he's up to 18 cars.
How many run?
Depends on what the word run is.
That means actually go and put it on the street and go to the store and come home.
I believe about 4.
Wow. Maybe. That's worse than my friend.
My
friend Barry, who had at his peak, he had 20 and a half cars, but at least 18 of them or 17 of them ran.
I don't want to slander him. I don't know, but
no, that sounds about right. But that's just too many cars. That's hoarding. That's a hoarder at that point. Hi, Sue. I'm glad you had a bad. You guys had storms. Everybody in the Northeast had storms. Oh. We had some rain earlier in the day. I mean, nothing storms.
No.
Florida's been actually my part of Florida has been very dry. Mm-hmm. So actually, I don't even know why they allowed fireworks, but whatever.
I was coming home. No, there was actually no debris in my yard or on top of cars or anything, and was actually shocked. And even at Dan's house, and actually they were done. Even at our buddy's house in Riverview, mm-hmm. They were kind of courteous. I think because we left for about 10ish. Everyone was done. I'm like, that's awfully nice. I just was kind of stopped. So, but no, my relatives in Illinois, tons of rain, tons like Florida rain, but not.
Yeah, I heard, and I'm like, wow. Actually, there's a thing in the chat about the Chrysler Nationals. It's in Hershey. I've been to that. I've actually been to Hershey. I was the girl I knew with the Superbird. We went to Hershey, the show there. And actually toured the park, and it was very interesting. And they have good roller coasters there. But let me see when that is. Let me see when the Chrysler Nationals. That's Carlisle. I don't know if they have the one there anymore. I think they only have the Carlisle one. I think that's in Carlisle, and that's this weekend. The Carlisle is. I don't think the Hershey one's anymore, or is it? Yeah, I only see Carlisle when I look it up. Let's see, Chrysler, Hershey, Pennsylvania, because at least there you get to go to the theme park too. No. So so this weekend, my buddy is going to the Mopar Nationals, and the Carlisle, not the Mopar Nationals, the Chrysler's at Carlisle, which is psychotically large, and he has a shopping list for his 300G because I'm like, dude, you can't buy stuff for this car. And I have videos, and I do actually do this. Is like, you need to have a list, and literally high priority stuff. Like, and this is going to sound stupid to everybody out there, but the one thing I told him to get is freeze plugs, brass ones, because most places just want to sell you the steel. That is the worst. Steel are horrible. They rot like anything.
Yeah.
So I always like using brass,
Right.
and it's easy to find them up there. Tony Imperial can't go. Oh no, he can't. He's not that far away. That sucks. But hey, Tony, you're probably not that. You're only a couple hours. What, maybe a half day ride to Bowling Green. In September they have Bowling Green as the Mo Party, and of course you have the Mo Party Nationals at the end of this month in Ohio. But Mo Party's better. I like Mo Party better. It's a Bowling Green.
Didn't Tony Imperial come down to Leesburg for a little bit?
I think he did.
I hope he enjoyed himself.
I hope he did too. Yeah, maybe we'll take a look at his some of his, because we didn't get to really go over those pictures with the second set of pictures with him, because they were just cool stuff, and I will go over that in a second. So yeah, it's been a heck of a week for me. Plus it's hotter than hell. Thank God the Chrysler's inside and air conditioning. But to do anything outdoors, I bought a lawnmower, which is going to be a tow vehicle. Also, it's a long story, but and so I tried to do. I'll just do some 5 minutes outside at 9:00 in the morning. 10:30, I'm inside showering. I'm going, this is awful.
You know what's not inside an air conditioned garage?
What?
A '67 Lincoln Continental that was worked on for about an hour-ish today, and
so sorry.
It made a list. I watched your video.
That's good. No, I'm glad.
It really needs to get worked on. So it's a motivation.
Okay, that'd be great. If you need help, I'm only an hour away.
All right, come on up.
Hey, Bowling Green is only 6-7 hours, dude. It's worth, dude. This show is worth the drive. They had like 3,000 cars there last year.
Not bad.
It is. It's an awesome show. You got to come down to Bow Party, man. I'm always there. I'm going to be drag racing. Northwest Ohio. So if he's in Ohio, that's straight down. You go straight down to Bowling Green. I just hope that this year isn't like last year where it was 5,000 degrees, and I'm like, I left Florida so I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I left Florida for this. Oh, so here, all right. So let's get into some stuff here because, yeah, this 300 is just gonna be. We call it the devil car now, and it's like I need a old and young priest to come with me. Look at this Barracuda. He's there, friggin', making us jealous. It's winter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah. A few months ago, we're bundled up. Like I said, you can always tell Fluno's weather of where he's located and what he's wearing.
Cold War Motors has been doing work at 56 or 7 Continental. Yeah, they're a lot more massive up close. Oh, they're gigantic cars.
Yeah, that's a Continental, not a Lincoln. So it's a very specific, hand-built, technically hand-delivered, $10,000 brand new back in the day. Very unique car. Very unique car.
Damn. I that's amazing. When that had 4-wheel drum brakes on it too.
Yeah, in fact, actually, I just watched a video on drum brakes, and I won't get off the rails here, no pun intended, but everything did. Oh, there was no talk of disc on that, but they were to be like the Rolls Royce. They actually, old 50s cars, they kind of ride like you're in a truck. That's just how things were.
The suspensions aren't going to give you
a tachometer, which was rare for any kind of car, but special leather. Obviously very customizable from you ordered it. And the thing is, for a long time, they didn't really have massive, because like you said, it was a massive car. It wasn't, not many were made, but they really didn't get expensive. Like 20 years ago, you could pick one up nice for like $15,000 in 2005 money. So it was, and they're beautiful. They're very conservative, but that's what they were meant to be.
Right.
Like a European car. and they lost $1,000 on every single vehicle they made. And when they were delivered, I believe they were in, I'm probably gonna be wrong, but it was either a suede or like lamb's wool, some type of cover when they were delivered to the dealership.
Nice.
Very, very specific. Everything, like I said, was, quote unquote handmade, you might say, and to the owner's specifications. Air conditioning was option in the trunk. It came kind of loaded, except for air conditioning. That was like the big one that you could order. So,
right.
but yeah, they're very big cars. The hubcaps have individual fins in them, not they are literally the fins on the hubcap. When you look at it, are individual blades that were made to be put in the hubcap.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony, with Tony Imperial, drum brakes aren't as bad as they aren't, as long as you maintain them right and don't go through a puddle. I mean, if you go through a puddle, you have a problem. But and then yes, 20-cent motors. Yeah, noise, vibration, harshness. Actually, it was the luxury brands, either Chrysler or Cadillac. I mean, honestly, that really started spearheading that smooth ride, because that was always their signature in the late 50s.
Dennis, I just learned watching the drum brake video that disc brakes, 4-wheel, were optional on the 1949 Imperial, if I'm correct on that.
Yes.
Or
Yep.
maybe Chrysler New York, I forgot which one. But it was expensive. It wasn't obviously ordered often, and it was kind of just quietly phased out. But there's another Chrysler moment where the biggest thing I learned from the video was they do work fine, but as the horsepower went up and cars weren't going 45 anymore, constant use of them, you get the fade. That's the real issue that put
they
them.
They don't dissipate heat.
Exactly. So that was what really the problem was. Not the act. I mean, they worked fine, but they weren't keeping up with now what cars could do.
Yeah.
As far as
the car, the power, and that's why if you have a car, like say you have a 69 Roadrunner, and you've actually even worked on the 383 and made it faster, you probably should at least go to manual disc up front, just because all the other cars now can stop so much faster. It was okay when everybody had the same thing, but now not everybody has the same thing. So it's like, yeah.
Right.
So, all right, let's start on. Speaking of brakes, this is a great way to work into this news story I found, because this blew my friggin' mind. The NHTSA, or your government here to protect you, plans on removing brake pedals because that's smart. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is officially planning to update the United States Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards so select vehicles will no longer require a brake pedal. This is part of the Transportation Department's most recent effort to help deregulate automobiles in a way that can benefit autonomous vehicles. No. No.
Frankly, the federal brilliance. Right.
All right, so this is how they're going to deregulate. Not get rid of catalytic converters, not get rid of fuel economy standards. No, we're going to make it so cars can be freaking dangerous. I like it. Great. Frankly, the federal government has been extremely accommodating ever since the industry first started testing self-driving cars. Yes, because they're easy to control and you can turn them off from anywhere. Standing in the way. There's only few things standing in the way. Not enough, obviously. However, the industry has been pressuring regulators to ease up so they can produce more AVs without human controls. We are on the cusp of the greatest technology revolution in vehicle technology since the invention of the Model T, stated some jackass from the NHTSA. If we want America to lead the way, we have no reimaging our regulatory framework. That's why under Secretary Sean Duffy's AV framework, it is tearing down pointless barriers to innovate design while strengthening the fundamental safety requirements that matter and holding AV developers accountable. This has been the corporate line for over a decade now. The claim is that the pivoting the world to self-driving vehicles will hopefully save countless lives. How? Yeah. How? I'll save it to the end because I have so much to say about this. However, much like the claim that electric vehicle ownership would somehow save the environment, the public remains unconvinced because it doesn't. In fact,
That's
the protesting self-driving vehicles have become increasingly popular in regions where some of these companies have been operating on public roads. Drivers have likewise been criticizing new regulations that require driver monitoring systems on all vehicles built after this year. Yeah, remember that. Your government at work. The argument that the government actors are giving tech companies leeway to do whatever they want as they make moves to surveil drivers while likewise mandating other obnoxious safety features that may be far less effective than advertised. In this announcement, the NHTSA, whatever it is, even promoted the latest scheme as an effort to safely unleash American innovation and rethink the types of equipment like windshield wipers or rear view. Oh, Jesus wept. Vehicles that don't need of a human will never drive like a car. These things are all the department of the DOT is looking further down the road. For now, the focus is on changing the FMVSS number 135, several changes. No, remove requirements for hand or foot operated brake controls. All vehicles must still meet the same stopping distance. Update AVs can physically stop when commanded. Wow. Eventually, the agencies officially suggest they would likewise need to address the elimination of additional controls that they believe made redundant by taking human drivers out of the equation. But the fact remains the NHTSA seems overjoyed to cater to regulations to companies fielding experimental driverless vehicles, even though it would never entertain modifying to help to make the human-controlled vehicles more privacy-focused or cheaper to manufacture. Yeah, the focus is a little. I'm getting a jumpy thing this week again. So basically, at this, I'm done with this now. So basically, your government at work. Let's sit here and think about this for a second. So they are accommodating this technology, which is not ready for prime time. I mean, we have stories that are hidden that you have to look on alternate places to find that these cars crashing into people, crashing into other cars, stopping for no apparent reason. Going down when the power grid goes down, little things that can be a very big problem. And my problem with these cars is who did it decide to save if a kid runs out in front of your car, but you're in between, if you make a move to the left or right, you can go into a ditch and die. What is it? What does the car do? What does the car do? And then who do you sue when the car hits you and you lose both your legs? Who do you sue? You can't sue the driver of the car. The passenger wasn't driving. He was just there. Who do you sue? These are questions that absolutely, and it is really kind of terrifying. I mean, and I'm not kidding about them being able to turn them off from anywhere.
Right.
Anything like this is connected to the internet. Anything connected to the internet can be turned off. That is a 100% fact. I don't know about you, but Fluno, I don't want my car turned off on me.
No. And this is very, I will not intentionally segue, but when I was down in Miami to see the Scots have their party, and that was a wonderful 24-hour adventure. They have, and I saw these in California too, and I think they're kind of cool. There's little delivery cars that go around, they blink their eyes, whatever. And I'm a Jetsons kind of guy. I think the future's here, fine, whatever. I saw Waymos out there in LA. And again, the technology is, quote, developing, right? So I'm always like forward thinking. But, and you can go back even on YouTube, watch like from a movie from 56 telling you how cars will be in 20 years. Well, they obviously did not know about the EPA at that time and how crappy they get. But it is very futuristic. Obviously, radar control. Everyone's enjoying themselves in the car. No one's behind the wheel. Bliss. It's great to have this thinking that now we're in the 21st century, yada, yada, yada. But here's what's interesting about your point about turning cars off and controlled by the internet. So I was with some younger folks. I mean, much younger folks. They are absolutely not at all. Well, I'm thinking Mr. Jetson's here. They are absolutely frightened to death about AI, the stuff controlled by the internet, autonomous cars. they're not big drivers. A lot of younger people don't even really care about, as we know, cars in general, but they don't like this idea of the internet, AI, etc., controlling the little delivery guy who has a name and blinks his eyes fine, or the autonomous cars. And I was very shocked by this because I would think they'd be like, "Ooh, totally, we're living in the future." No, they are not for this at all. They do not like, for one, the lack of people will lose jobs over XYZ. Two,
Yes.
the whole AI. And they even joke with me about, oh, Terminator. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I know my age.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah, we know, but they like bringing up the past. Okay, it's fine. The late 20th century, as they like to call it. Very intellectual folks who I was dealing with, but not at all thrilled. Now, and of course, I'm just talking about the Mr. Delivery guy, whatever little robot. But it's interesting you bring that up because you're right. They can control the car, turn it off, do whatever, and then, like you said, and I will convert this. Cars don't kill people. People, hate to say it, will kill them.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm not being funny.
Oh, you're absolutely dead on.
But when it goes bad, who is responsible now for this? And look, 100 years from now, I mean, again, flying cars, people can't drive on a road. I can't even imagine Marty and Doc, in the flying DeLorean. No, yes, we've always wanted flying cars. It's not going to happen, at least right now. And sure, one day maybe it'll be on that highway of radar, like they said in 56, but we're just not there. And to me, pushing this to like no brake pedal, no this, no that, that makes no sense at all. Because what if someone has to hop in and move it when it breaks down? And it will. We know this. So but it's funny you bring that up about the control factor, where that does worry a lot of people that I was very shocked about.
Yeah. I actually, it seems like most people under 30 are very, very adamant against AI. It's a very big thing. And the other thing is, I mean, look at your basic stuff, like, this basic AI with your Google on your phone. If you have an Android phone, it's Google. And do you know how many times that I've done commands to it, clear commands, and it didn't do it? And I'm going, that's just that's a phone, which is, it's with its little thing in there, but that's what it's programmed to do. Now, could you imagine the car that decides it just doesn't follow the instructions properly, because that's literally what they're saying, to stop when ordered? Well, how do you know if you need to? Pretty much yes. Yeah. You have the government is. I always tell my daughter when she gets a letter, like she had to file taxes, and she got a letter from the IRS that was like 6 pages long, reiterating everything that she had just done online 5 days earlier. And she's like, why did they send this to me? Because it's the government, and they're incompetent, and they have to do stuff like this because they're the government. And this is really who should not be delegating how our cars are built, what our cars should have. The industry itself can tell us exactly what cars they want to build us and how to build them, because that's their business. Right. The government's business is not in making cars, and they have no idea how to make a car. No. They really look at the post office. I think they have 10 of those damn things built now. They had it was a multi-billion-dollar project, and they haven't made any of those new electric postal vehicles.
No, Amazon's done better at their electric thing. Why?
Yeah, they still catch fire though. So
no, sure, but if the private company will do the best kind of job, and I'm going to flip it, Dennis. So my car, not the Z3 or the Lincoln, has that ridiculous like crash warning thing. Now I get it, whatever. Maybe it thinks a little quicker than I do. It is so like I'm slowing down. Okay, I see the car. It thinks I got to hit the brakes harder. No, I don't. I'm fine. So that's a reversal of it. Now it gets jumpy, and slams on the brakes. The computer does for safety. In reality, now someone just rear ends the Elon's taxi.
Yes, exactly.
So I've had it doesn't happen a lot, but I'm like, I'm just slowing down. I know the guy's being ridiculous, taking forever, but why, Mr. Conant, did you have to slam on the brakes when I'm under control in the vehicle.
And 20 Cent Motor. This is a book for everyone to read. Atlas Shrugged, because it literally is now, and it's really is actually terrifying. And Ayn Rand was a visionary.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she had very good observations of people, and the big part, the government takes over the railroad, 2 trains collide in the tunnel. That's how the government works.
Yeah.
Don't ever look to the government for a solution, because look what they did to cars. I mean, I can just bring it. Look what they did to cars. The 1970s are because of the government.
Right.
They destroyed the car industry, and it didn't have to get destroyed.
No.
Things were progressing in a way that within a few years, cars would have changed massively without their help. And with their help, it almost it bankrupted Chrysler, and it gave us 10 years of really bad cars that are basically no longer available. I mean, you go try to find in 1978, Volare, or I mean, just let's throw a Plymouth out there. Volare, try to find one. They was made so bad there aren't many left, and no one, you can't even get parts for it, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's very bad. And this no brake pedal thing to cater to these people making stuff that is not ready for prime time.
No.
None of this stuff is ready for prime time.
No.
Yet they say it's okay. The people that basically said that trucks headlights were too high up, maybe load them down, and did a whole thing. They had to change that, or the hoods were too slopey. They had to make them think that all of a sudden it's okay just not to have any brake pedals in something, and if it wants to go off the rails, it'll go off the rails. That's great.
Right. Mandatory cameras, mandatory this.
Yeah, man, and the mandatory,
yeah,
and the kill switch, which is still there, and keep that in mind, guys. So this is all right. So this is something kind of fun. I did a little poll because I said I was going to do this months ago, but I asked people if what car manufacturer would you want back? I did Mercury, Oldsmobile, Plymouth, and Pontiac, because these are divisions that went away. I didn't have AMC here because AMC was a company that technically still exists because it was bought by Chrysler Corporation. It's no different than Chrysler, which really doesn't exist anymore. It's just a part of Stellantis. So I did these 4 divisions, and I was shocked. I was actually a little bit shocked. Mercury came in dead last. Like no one. There's 130 votes, and Mercury came in last. Oldsmobile, which I was shocked also.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I love Oldsmobiles. It's one of my favorite non-Mopar cars. So then third place was Pontiac at 42%, which, and then, of course, Plymouth at 45%. And Plymouth has a lot of love, though. And when you look at the comments, AMC, I'm like, okay, but Plymouth, what car? I asked, the comment was bonus. Valiant. You know what? They could probably use a Valiant right now. They could use a cheap car that actually is reliable. Of course, G Canada wants his Grand Marquis back. The Roadrunner, a lot of Roadrunners. The entire 69 and 70 lineup for Plymouth. Sure. Roadrunners, the Cuda, a Roadrunner, AMC. Yeah, so absolutely no love for Oldsmobile in this. But yeah, Stellantis actually could use a Plymouth in their lineup, because they're in a lot of trouble. We need 63 Valiants desperately. Actually, the 63 was nice, but I honestly think the pinnacle for that car is still that 69 through 72. It was actually a little better built. It had the slant in there. Air was very easily available. Not a bad car. I mean, it was still cheaper than dirt, but I mean, that was a really good run for those cars. Really good run for those cars. So, yeah, I'm just a little, I was a little, I was a little like shocked by that actually. So it's just I was kind of like blown away. So yeah,
That
but
just goes to show, though, how Mercury was, what do they call it, the country club,
yes,
again, whatever, like the Cougar, great cars, they really were, but they really just kind of, even with everyone remembers them as just like the Ford Twin, like bad
yes,
engineering. It wasn't like, we don't think of the '60s. Oldsmobile, same exact thing. It became just a GM, a cookie cutter situation. In fact, the
yes,
logo you use obviously is from the '60s on, but
yes,
we all remember that as like on your father's Oldsmobile, like the ad would say. And of course,
yes,
they try to make it funky with the Aurora and all that
yeah,
stuff. But
which
I
yeah,
love Oldsmobile, especially like '50s and '60s in general. I've always liked Oldsmobile. They were like the bells and whistle car to
yep,
try things out
yes,
before they went to Buick and Cadillac. So
yes,
like a banker's, like a young professional's car. So, but I think that's one reason why is we just envision like this stuck. I mean, if you guys Oldsmobile right now, you think of like a Vista Cruiser '85 wagon. That's just kind of how I think
yeah.
people visualize Oldsmobile.
Yeah. The thing is, Oldsmobile, if you wanted a General Motors muscle car, that's honestly the one I would go for. A 442 is a
Yeah,
very nice, very
great car.
comfortable car.
Yep.
Comfortable car. Still fast, but I mean, at least you have the option to actually even have leather in it. I mean, it could
Yeah.
actually be a really nice car.
Look at the
And
Cutlass. The Cutlass reigned
yeah.
supreme, no pun intended, during like even the '70s, even during the Malaise era.
Oh, that was
They
a
were a
huge thing.
great selling car, especially the two door.
Exactly. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I think the perception Mercury just you're right. Mercury just went away. I mean,
Yeah,
most people under 40 just don't even care.
no,
Plymouth has that because a Roadrunner because they have such nameplates that are so strong
sure,
that it's 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 yeah it's just ongoing. It really is. It's one of those things ongoing. Yeah. It was pretty good, and I actually even that Toronado I'm working on one day I'll get back on it.
hmm
I look at the quality and build on it, and it's like what this is actually very well thought out.
yeah,
A lot of it's very well thought out. A lot of it is General Motors bean counting, but that's just what happens. So hey, actually there's some good news.
yeah.
Holy crap, there's good news. I'm shocked. You're gonna love this. Another piece of First Brands has been sold off.
Oh,
Press Seal Corporation acquires Jasper Rubber. So this is good. So this Jasper Rubber they make a lot of rubber components for cars, and they were not functioning since March.
mm,
And so now they are now just liquidating. I mean, it's this is no longer a Chapter 11. There's not going to be anything left to restart. So now this company it's actually an American company bought it, and it's going to be based out of where the heck is it? It is acquisition completed through court supervised sales process, bankruptcy of Jasper Rubber former parent First Brands, structure and asset purchase. This transaction transfers Jasper operations, real estate, equipment, inventory, contracts, permits, and intellectual property, including the Jasper Rubber brand name and manufacturing know-how, to Jasper Acquisitions Company LLC, with Press Seal Corporation serving as the guarantor. First Brands ceased dated operations at the Jasper facility in March, and the business has been slated to wind down entirely before the Skinner family stepped in. Operations will start under the Jasper Rubber name. And they're a family business, and we're going to return Jasper Rubber to operating as it did when it was a family business, said Pete Skinner, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of Press Seal Corporation. I started working in rubber factories when I was 15 years old. I understand the industry from the floor up. Jasper is going back to local hands-on ownership, and we couldn't be more excited to make it work. For 3 generations, our families owned and operated rubber manufacturing in Indiana. Rubber is what we do. Said Jim Skinner, Chairman Emeritus. Oh God, I can't say that word. Of Press Seal Corporation. Jasper Rubber built a 77-year reputation on quality and honesty, people. That reputation and skill didn't go anywhere, and the talent and Jasper is one of the reasons we wanted to have it.
Nice.
And the new ownership is based just up the road in Fort Wayne. So the Skinner family is hands-on and present in the facility we own. Jasper will be no different, Pete Skinner said. We're a couple hours away, not a couple time zones away. Our plan is simple: quality parts delivered on time, made by people who take pride in their work. We're not reinventing Jasper, we're restoring it. The Skinner family intends to bring the plant back to life this summer, scaling up production lines to come back online. As we bring lines back online, we'll be hiring people with rubber experience, and Jasper's previous workforce is the first place we'll look. This is a new start. We're hopeful that many experienced hands will want to come back and be part of the new team. The people who built this company's reputation are the exact people we want to build its future. The company also signaled its intent to rebuild customer relationships disrupted during the bankruptcies. Jasper customers built their supply chains around the plant for decades, said Todd Kraft, Vice President of Sales at Jasper Rubber Products. Our goal is to be a reliable partner for them again, to earn back the business that walked out the door during bankruptcy. Jasper Rubber Manufacturing's leadership will carry the operation into its next chapter. We're excited to begin the new chapter and remain committed to providing exceptional service to our customers, said Bill Melvin, Vice President of Manufacturing at Jasper Rubber Products. So they manufacture precision molded rubber, thermoplastic, elastomer components, including vibration control, structural, sealing, isolation parts for passenger cars, light trucks, power sports equipment, and small engines. So this is actually really friggin' important. I mean,
great news. This honestly really just the way they're talking about it.
Yeah,
actually brings a smile to my face. I mean, really, they're gung ho, American, and
America.
No, I'm not being funny, but it's not.
No,
like
but I mean, it's true though.
Somewhere else, and they seem like they want to not reinvent, but revive. And I think that's really, really cool, especially for people getting back to work in their craft. And so, nice.
Now the only thing is that we need to have Ray Bestis start making stuff again. The Centric got bought, and they're going to start manufacturing. So there will be more brakes for older cars because Centric made a lot of stuff. They include Power Stop. So that'll help with brakes, but we need Ray Bestis because they were the original manufacturers on a lot of cars, and I still haven't heard anything about that. Yes, motor mounts. Yeah, I mean that's what they mean by motor mounts. I mean, and transmission mounts. I mean, and body isolators. This is very important stuff that people overlook it, and that's why when I did the first videos on First Brands, people like, oh, those are just garbage brands. No, they're all Chinese. I'm like, no, they're not. They actually make a lot of stuff that we use. I mean, and Ford and General Motors use. So, you can't just discount it. That company went under because the owners are crooks. I'll just say that they're crooks. They're charged with felonies. I can say that. They were under house arrest. I don't know what more you need to be able to go, yeah. Oh yeah, reminds me, Sky Spectre. Reminds me of the movie Tommy Boy. Yes, the warranty. But so this is starting to unwind. But like I said, when it first happened, when I started doing the videos last year, it's going to take forever for this to fully unwind and get most of the businesses back, because they're saying they're going to start in this warring at the end of the summer. They may not make a product till January next year. I mean, literally, it is that bad. When something's shut down like that, you just don't start doing things in a day. It takes months. Yeah. And I'm glad that a company that actually knows what they're doing got a good deal to be able to buy it and save that company. Screw the creditors of First Brands. You guys, I'm sorry. You guys are second. These businesses need to survive. And the federal government and the judge in this need to actually make that a priority, because this is more important than creditors that made very bad decisions. They should pay for the making bad decisions. These guys, you should do some due diligence when you lend money. I mean,
Right.
and I don't even understand this. Yeah. So I'm giddy over this. I'm actually really happy that I'm starting to see pieces of it being sold to people that actually know what they're doing.
Right.
So hopefully we'll have some more product come out, because anybody that has a car, this affects us directly, and the price of stuff has gone up, and getting stuff has been harder to get. Like even for my BMWs, it's been a little bit harder to get oil filters, just because they're trying to fill the void for Fram, because Fram still doesn't make oil filters. So I'm at a loss here of when this is going to end, and how people still don't grasp that this is not just about this is about two guys that were crooks that ran a good business into the ground. Yeah. So we'll go from that nice, heartwarming, warm story to one of my favorite things, and it's not what you think. It's about people thinking that they're going to buy an investment on a new car lot. And this is my favorite. I love every second of this, because these are greedy people, and you're also this is when you get blinded by greed.
Right.
You get blinded by greed. That's all this is. You're blinded by greed on both sides. Blinded by greed. They overpaid thinking their Dodge Hellcats were limited. Judge says that's on you. No kidding. A federal judge ruled Dodge didn't mislead buyers, leaving Hellcats owners stuck with over MSRP purchases. So yeah, stories about paying thousands over MSRP aren't hard to find. Well, just go to any Stellantis dealership. And most came with a familiar lesson. Just because you can pay more doesn't mean you should. Here's another one. And this time, not even the courts came to the rescue. A group of Hellcat buyers tried to sue Dodge after paying high markups on what they thought was a limited run model, only to watch the case fall flat. First of all, no such thing as a limited manufactured model from a mass manufactured company. They can make that car again if they wanted to. I mean, look at this. The Cobra is still made today. You can buy a brand new Shelby Cobra. Literally, you can just put an order in and get one sent. Even those cars, they're not limited. Yep, 20-cent motor. All production is limited to the amount of buyers. Exactly. That is dead on. This is my favorite. Dodge Durango Hellcat owners alleged that the auto manufacturer pulled a bait and switch when they said in 2021 it'll be only model year, only to build more starting in 2023. A judge just smacked those plaintiffs down and gave Dodge a big win. It gave common sense a big win.
Right.
This is common sense. When Dodge unveiled the Durango SRT Hellcat back in 2021, the muscle car SUV world went nuts. All 4,000 of them, because it's not a high production car. It performed and still largely does like nothing else in the segment. Limited edition until it wasn't. Dodge also made it clear it was a 1-year, 3,000 only unit run. See, 3,000, not a high production car. A message that helped push some buyers deep into premium pricing territory with documented wholesale purchases around $114,000.
Oh my God.
MSRP was 80. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie. I would take all those people to the cleaner. I'm gonna be straight up.
Oh my God! You're licking your lips, going, "Oh, yeah! I'm going on a trip. I'm going on a trip.
Those are victims.
I'm going on a trip around the world."
You can go for 114 grand. I mean, I'm sorry.
Something good, not
Something
this.
awesome.
Not
Jeez.
this.
Wow.
The price was $81,000. 25 grand over a sticker. In 2023, Dodge revealed the Durango Hellcat for another model year. What has been sold as a one-and-done Halo Hellcat now became the original. A group of 7 plaintiffs sued Stellantis and Fiat Chrysler unit, claiming they paid their premiums because Dodge Limited Edition portrayed the 2020 Hellcat as a future collectible. No, you are a greedy sucker. You're a greedy sucker, and you got what you deserve for being a greedy sucker. No, you got ripped off because you let yourself get ripped off. No, Sky Spectre, the GNX was different. The GNX was literally Buick going to General Motors and they're going to suck it. And they made those cars to make them much faster than the Corvette because they were told to stop making them because they were faster than the Corvette. So they basically went like that to General Motors and went, nope, we're just doing this to stick it up your ass. Okay, have a nice day. And that's why they made those cars, and they are super collectible, and they're animals.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, Barracuda. There are businesses around here you can buy 55 to 57 Chevy bodies. Yeah. Oh, that's not nice, Tony Imperial. That's not nice. On Thursday, January 29th, U.S. District Judge Jennifer Hall, we speak your name, ruled the automaker did not lie or breach any express warranty by resuming production, noting that statements about 2020 models limited run were true when made and did not legally amount to false advertising or consumer fraud. Put it another way, there was no evidence that Dodge intended to deceive buyers. No, they told the truth. We're going to make a limited amount of these this year.
This year.
This is it. In 2021, we're going to make this many.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Ooh, Sky Spectre has a GN. Oh, what a badass car that is. That is such a badass car. That is a badass car.
Grand National?
Grand National. That's a badass car. I would never mess with one of those. They're too damn fast. Absolutely no. That leaves everyone who paid above sticker, whether or not they suit or not, with a pricey SUV that has seen values slide, even when kept in pristine condition with low miles. As a friend at the Autopian, pointed out, it's an odd bit that owners even went after Dodge on its own. It's easy to argue the dealers could be held accountable. Okay, a little more. Nobody made these folks buy the car in the first place. Right. Correct.
That's right. But go back up to that. Yeah, great interior. I mean, doesn't that reek of $114,000?
It reeks of a $50,000, no, maybe a $40,000 car. It's awful. That is like the most. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah. But this is what happens, and I've said on this podcast, I've said in videos that new cars are not collectible. The Hellcats are not collectible. There's nothing. They're not collectible. Any modern car is not going to be like the classic era muscle car. There's a big reason why not. And the biggest reason why not is going to be the electronics. Those old cars were very simple. Mm-hmm. You had to worry about the engine and drivetrain and body, the basic stuff about the car. This Hellcat, if the computer goes bad and it's out of warranty, good luck. That's $5,000, maybe, if you can find one. If the engine blows up, that's $30,000, and they may not be making replacements. Now I don't know how you rebuild one of these because I don't know how good the replacement parts are. I don't know where you get them. So you're buying something that, and the ones with low miles, I wouldn't want to touch because they're not, all the problems haven't been found in that car. So it could blow a transmission up next week. And what good is it then? So these are cars that you basically beat the living piss out of and then just worry about them later on. Nobody with a Hellcat should ever keep it like it's a 1969 Charger Daytona. It's literally a car that you just beat on and throw away, or give to the next guy. It's not a collector's item. There's nothing special about it. It's just a very fast car that it's in a cheap suit. It's a fast car in a really cheap suit. So yeah, that I mean, and I'll stick by that because I know they're fast. They're fun to ride in. They're fun to drive, but being collectible, nah, there's nothing collectible about them. They defy all the things that make something be able to be kept for a long time. The electronics are number one, and then the complexity is number two. So.
And Dennis, I would say, and I could be way wrong on this, but I used to ask my dad all the time, like, why didn't you keep your shoebox? Why didn't you keep this? Why did you keep? Because he had a Rambler state. And he said, Mike, the truth is, as time went on, they were just old cars. You move on, right?
Right.
When you say that, a lot of, especially once the gas problems hit in the 70s, I don't even know if they thought at Chrysler, hey, let's make these because they're going to be so held on to. I think it just kind of happened naturally, but it wasn't like and again, I could be wrong, someone sitting back saying, you know what, this is going to be a super collectible car in 50 years. Because 10 years after they were built, everything seemed to be going bad, gas pricing, insurance, and this and that. So now they use this mentality of, oh, they made 3,000. Oh, I'm going to put this in my garage. It's going to be collectible. No one thought that, I don't think, in 1969. Luckily, people held on to them, but I think people bought them for the same reason we do buy some cars now, is they wanted to have a fun car, inexpensive, or whatever options they wanted on there, this and that. But I don't think the goal was to assume, hey, I can't wait for 50 years because this is going to be a $100,000 car. I mean, would you agree with that in some way?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
but now we have this mentality that, oh, they only made so many, I'm going to hold on to it. No. They drove those cars every day of the week and enjoyed them.
Exactly. And my Charger has 120,000 miles on it. I don't see the point of keeping low miles on something. You might as well just have a postage stamp. Right. You might as well buy a piece of art and put it on the wall. I mean, for the amount of money I put in my Charger, I could have bought a really nice, beautiful art. But no.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, this is the mentality that I see a lot of, and I see on Facebook. There are groups, and I laugh at them. And it's just like, you guys really, 20-cent motors, and this is actually precedent. This judge didn't have to do much research. The 1976 they did the same thing. In 1983, they sued Cadillac. Those people that had the 76s, they sued Cadillac, and they got their ass handed to them because they're like, Cadillac changed their mind. They're a manufacturer. They made no guarantee to you. You're just a consumer. It's a car.
And they were correct by saying this is our last one. I mean, that was the 76. We're done making this car. If you want to look at it from that. And I've seen old ads like that from old National Geographic, like the end of an era. Well, it was.
It was. They weren't lying. It was true.
Correct.
Yeah. And they just. So I mean, these guys, they obviously didn't do any homework before they did this insane lawsuit, because all you have to do is look up the 76 Cadillac verdict, and you're going to lose, because that literally is the precedent, and that's the case law right there. Because General Motors won that easily. It wasn't even that hard. They went, they didn't make a promise. The last one they're going to build.
And yes, were they promoting the fact, if you want a Cadillac convertible in this style, you might want to buy it, because this is our last one.
Yeah, it's the last one for now.
Right.
Always think about that in your head, people. It's the last one for now.
Right.
For now. Just like when people said, what was it, like 10 years ago? Oh, there'll be no more V8s. No, there'll be V8s again. Yeah. I've seen this story play out. They said the same thing in 1971. Oh, there'll be no more engines with over 400 horsepower. And here we are, over 400 horsepower. I mean, things wane, and they rise and they wane, and they rise and they wane. And you don't be a sucker. And don't try to buy something new and think it's going to be collectible. Honestly, unless it has a prancing horse on the hood, trust me, you're just being ripped off. Never pay more than retail for a car. You're just a sucker if you do. So Dennis, you're saying don't bother with mileage on old cars? I mean, honestly, no. I mean, unless it's something bizarre. Like, I've seen cars that had like 150 miles on them. Like, I would feel weird driving it. With that low, it's like, it's at the point, and it's like, I feel really weird. But you have to use it a little bit, because even the not the Cunningham Museum, that's the family. The people that own Lotus, they have a museum down in Naples. All those cars go. I mean, there's some rare cars. They go to Sebring, they rent the track, and they bring these cars to Sebring. They have real GT40 race cars, like from Le Mans. They actually have 3 of them, and those cars get started up and they go to Sebring with the car. They even have the Corvette split window that went to Sebring. It went to Sebring, and it also went to Le Mans, and they have that car, and that car gets driven. So, enjoy your car, insure it properly, because I have videos on it. Insure it properly, maintain it properly, but use it. It's a car. Cars hate sitting.
That's right.
They really do. They really, really, really do. They hate it. It's the worst thing ever. Hey, it's Dabbling Ed Rooney. Yeah. I love Barracuda. My brother has a 2017-ish RAV4. He gets regularly serviced at the dealership, but I don't think changing the trans fluid is part of that servicing. Depends. A lot of times they say it's lifetime, which is basically the lifetime of how long your loan is. But yeah, transmissions, the Toyota ones aren't as bad, and I don't think that has a CVT in it. But 60,000, you get it changed. Don't ever flush a transmission unless you want it to break, because you end up moving dirt and stuff into areas where it does not want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But an independent will do that. Just change the fluid. I don't know much about RAV4s, except they sell a lot of them. Yeah. Jesus, they sell a lot of those cars. So and I have a part 2 to this, because I love this. These just kind of popped up. So here's a part 2 to this. So all those clowns that bought Hellcats, who thinking they had like the greatest, most expensive thing ever, that I better put it in bubble wrap and not drive it. The 717 horsepower Dodge Hellcat will be a used car bargain as last all premiums collapse. Manufacturing scarcity works in the automobile industry when it's an Italian supercar firm building more cars than the dashboard mounting placards imply, or Chevrolet bumping out more limited edition Corvettes faster than New Balance can supply owners with pearl of white sneakers. It grabs attention of the loyalists fast. During the final round of Dodge's efforts to get rid of its shelves of Hemi and V8 engines, the company packed them into multiple limited edition models, part of the brand's last call campaign. And you know what happened? It worked. Yes, because there's plenty of suckers out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of suckers out there. A lot of suckers. Let's see. The limited edition models made by Dodge: the Challenger Shakedown, the Charger Super B, the Challenger Scat Pack Swinger, Charger King Daytona, Charger Scat Pack Swinger, Challenger Black Ghost based on a fake story, and the Challenger SRT Demon 170 should continue to hold their values well, maybe. The regular Hellcat models do too, but the news coveted Hemi returning a Charger, which it isn't going to. Values of the base 17 Hellcat may soon fall back to earth. They just will anyway. Base Hellcats are a bargain basement power for the price. Hellcats from 2015 and 2020 had 707 with a 10 horsepower bump for 2021, so it's 717. Manual transmission Challengers, they were available for 2015, 2020. Paused in 2022 and they're 23. We expect the manual mode models to fetch higher prices than automatics. True. Base MSRPs for 2021-23 Hellcats were in the mid-60s. None of them sold for that. Still trading hands around that mark, which means those people are losing money. Mm-hmm. Well-equipped low mileage fetch close to 80, and those people are also losing money. Premiums for more abundant Hellcat models shouldn't start to crumble as the Hellcat power plant returns to, which it won't. So... as I keep reading this for the second time, you know what? I think it's time to actually show why this article is insanely wrong. Hey, you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is?
Challenger delivery time?
It is an update on the biggest flop that Dodge has ever sold. Bigger flop than the R-Body, bigger flop than the front-wheel drive Charger, bigger flop than I'm running out of cars to try to compare it to. This is the biggest flop and I actually have real numbers now, the biggest flop in Dodge history. In fact, it is the slowest selling Dodge ever. Ever. It actually may get lapped by the Chrysler TC, which is that is the worst car ever sold by Chrysler. So and I'm going to show why there's going to be no Hellcat, because you're going to as you see, there's maybe 3,000 buyers for a Hellcat car, maybe, if you're lucky on a good day that they could pay the insurance premiums. But that's not what's out there, because there isn't that many of those people. So let's start with the actual what's on the lot right now. Because, come on, no, remove. There we go. That's my next story. Add to stage. So in 7-1, they had 11,747 available vehicles nationwide. And I looked, they're not making anymore. There's one in production right now, which is not really saying much about that. It's a Dodge Etzel. Actually, the Etzel sold better. Don't insult the Etzel. So we go to this week. And now there's 11,555 available. And remember, they're not making anymore. So that is how many they sold in the past week. So it's less than 200, which is not a great number, because that's like 10,000 a year. And the production year is almost over, because obviously it is. They're stopping. The new ones are coming out in September. So I think it was 20 Cent Motor who said that they may not even sell 20,000. Dude, they're not going to sell 10,000. This is a bomb. And everybody, if you watch other YouTube channels, and these guys are screaming on top of their lungs that this Hellcat is going to be a Hellcat version of this Charger. It's going to be out there for 1,000 people. Well, we actually have the sales numbers for this quarter, and they are bad. I mean, they are real bad. So what I did is I compared it to several different models, and this is the first one. And let me remove this, and here we go. So this is from Stellantis. Okay, this is for this year on top. I highlighted it. 2,900 Chargers were sold in this quarter. The 3 months of April, May, June, they sold 2,911 of them. Okay. Last year in April, May, and June, okay, they sold 1,500 Hornets. But the thing is, up until that point for the first half of the year, they sold 5,600 Hornets. They only sold 4,500 Chargers. The Hornet outsold the Charger for the first half of the year when you compare first half to first half. And that was a car that was getting canceled. Okay, so keep telling me about how they're going to put a Hellcat motor in this and it's going to save the day. Please keep telling me that, because I want to know how that happens when a $50,000 car, actually it's a $60,000 car, doesn't sell, and you're going to try to sell a $70,000 car. I'm confused over this. So let's go to this one. The Charger, 2,911 in the second quarter. And I picked the Corvette, a $90,000 car. They sold 7,100 Corvettes. Wow. Two-seater car, completely unpractical. Honestly, it's not a family car. This is a toy. They've sold 13,000 Corvettes to the 4,000 Chargers. Same time frame. Keep telling me how they're going to have all these variations of SRT cars at Dodge. Dodge is dead. Because let's go. I got more. Hold on. Fluno, this is insane. This one you'll love, Fluno. The Charger against the Mustang. It's not even close. It's not even a contest. Not even a contest. This was Ford doesn't do by quarter. This is a month.
Okay.
They more Mustangs in a month than Chargers sell in a quarter.
Jeez. And they're still not seen as much as they used to. They're still doing pretty good.
Yeah, they've sold 28,000 Mustangs so far this year to the 4,500 Chargers. The Bronco, I love pointing this out. The Broncos sold 13,000 Broncos in June alone.
Wow.
The Chargers sold 2,900 in 3 months. The Bronco is a $60,000 SUV. And yeah, and actually it was out for the year. It's been outsold by the Lightning. The F-150 Lightning sold 44. It's actually same pace, 4481. This is a vehicle that's discontinued, and the Chargers sold 4,500.
Heck, they sold more Transits. I mean, obviously people need them, but I will say, Dennis, I'll throw out. What did I tell you earlier? Coming home from work yesterday, I couldn't tell gas or appliance, but dark gray Charger, and I saw my second one now on the road here.
You're ahead of me, man. I only have one.
Wow.
I only have one. Here we go. This is the killer. This one absolutely blew my mind. You're gonna love this one. Charger against BMWs.
Wow.
Okay. The BMW 4 Series drove a circle around it. They sold 9,600 4 Series. This is a car that's $70,000. 7 Series. Jeez. Outsold it by 10 cars. The 7 Series. $100,000 car.
Are these quarter or monthly numbers?
This is quarterly. BMW does quarterly now.
Okay.
The X7. The X7 ran a circle around the Charger. It sold 65. It actually tripled. It doubled. It doubled the Charger number. The X7, $100,000 SUV. X7. Amazing. In its own lineup, the only thing selling at Dodge is the Durango, and it's actually down. So everybody goes, they put the Hemi in it, and it's selling like crazy. No, it isn't. The sales actually went down 2,000 units for the quarter. That truck is dead. The Dodge is dead. It's over. Just start packing up the signs. Start selling off the memorabilia. It's over. Dodge is gone, and there's nothing to save this company at this point because you have incompetent people running it. Because when you have them running around and putting out article, let me pull the article up. Charger was it 400? Was 400%, right? I'm
sorry.
It was like 400. Was it 400% because they did it over the electric? Yeah. Here it is. Yeah. Here we go. Car scoops. When you start having garbage like this,
yes,
as you're this is pure marketing. I'll remove that and then I'll add the stage. When this is your marketing, that you have to sit here and literally lie,
right? That
this car is on fire.
Yeah.
No. This car is as dead as a doornail. It's a brand new car that can't sell. They needed to sell 120,000 of these a year to make it realistic, and they're not even going to sell 20,000. Hell, I don't think they're going to sell 10 because this is a new introduction. This is when all the people are. This is where all the people be excited about the car. There is no excitement. There is no surge. The EV is dead as a doornail. I don't even think they sold 300 in a quarter. Nobody wants it. Yeah, Jack and Rod, the electric vehicles, yes and no. They're not. They're killing. They're losing a lot of money. It's bad management. Dodge is run by idiots. I will flat out. They are run by idiots. There's no other word for it. They're idiots. They have no idea what the market wants. They don't care what the market wants. But this brand is, and Chrysler's dead too. Chrysler, they're going to bring a Fiat. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay $50,000 for a Fiat. Fiats they're not very well made to start with because that's why they don't sell in America. Oh my God. Stellantis stock is down to $5 and that's still too high.
Wow.
It is an incompetent company. And, Tim Kuniskis, that clown, and that's all. I mean, if I even meet him in person, I'm going, you're a clown. Because he's a clown. He runs around, SRT, this stuff. Dude, you need a slant 6 Valiant.
Right.
You need a slant six dart at this point. You need something that sells. You need the Dodge Duster. You need the Plymouth Duster again. The Plymouth Duster sold 300,000 units in 1970. It saved Plymouth, and it was not fast. It was built okay, but it was just good enough. And it's just like, I'll buy Stellantis stock when it hits 74 cents. It may get there, but they don't need SRT models. That's a tiny market. That's thousands of sales. They need hundreds of thousands of sales. The Charger and Challenger at their peak in the late teens were selling combined, I think it was 160,000 units.
Wow.
And I mean, think about that. You replaced two cars that sold 160,000 units with one where you're getting all excited because you sold 2,900 in a quarter. And honestly, it's not great at this point. I mean, this car is not going to get a V8. It's not going to get a restyle. The Hornet got canceled for less, for more. The Hornets was selling better than this car. And now any of these YouTube channels you see out there, and I'm not going to name them because I don't want to, but you know who they are, and they know who they are. You guys stop misleading people. Stop with the crazy, thumbnails and whatnot that are just pure BS. There is no V8 coming. There is no development for this. Stellantis said where they're putting their money. They're putting their money in four things, and that's the only place they're going to put their money. There is no money for Dodge. There's no money for Chrysler. And, I mean, it would be insane to think that otherwise. They're going to put it in Jeep, Ram, Fiat, and Peugeot, because those are their brands that they give a crap about because they're a European company. And they can market all those brands everywhere in the world. They don't understand Dodge. They don't understand Chrysler. They don't understand the American market, and they show. Because the whole thing about putting the Hemi back in the Ram, those numbers are also skewed because the sales were so bad last year because that no one wants the Huracan 6. It is not a good engine. I see way too many things on an engine that isn't out in the wild that much, having lots of problems that honestly you shouldn't have in a car in 2026. And honestly, compared to the Ford 3.5 V6, it's a piece of garbage. My 3.5 has 120,000 miles on it. The engine itself has been friggin' phenomenal. It's the transmission, which is always an issue for any car in this year. But that I'll put that 3.5 against anything Stellantis builds, because I'm sorry, the Hemi is not a great engine. It should have been redesigned 20 years ago, and that's sad, or 15 years ago. But I mean, now we are like, at the point where we now have articles doing this to try to gaslight us to think that the Charger is actually, look at this. They even found one that could do a burnout.
Right.
Look, sales exploded. You got outsold by the BMW 4 Series. You got outsold by the 7 Series. You didn't explode. Hellcat confirmed. What? 90,000? So how does a $90,000 vehicle save a $60,000 vehicle that doesn't sell? Can you even explain that to me? You were in cars. How does that work, Fluno?
It does. Well, it's funny you bring up the gaslighting and the fake news, to be honest, because I remember like a year plus ago, and there's reputable sites that I still enjoy to this day. And like I said, we won't name them, but like the Cybertruck, you would have thought, I mean, someone was getting a check. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to I'm not even being nasty. It was so obvious that this is not great at all. And I, for example, I will not say anything, but certain British guys that love bagging on American, and I think it's fun. Okay. One of them, you would have thought this was the greatest thing since, I don't know, the E-Type. I mean, it was so bad. Like, okay, Mr. So-and-so, how'd you get a check? So I really don't have an answer for you on this, because going back to the BMW, and of course, spending more money, you're getting a higher quality vehicle. But I mean, those are not cheap. But I actually did watch a video where they did a full comparison of how are European cars priced the same or in some ways better than some of our domestics. Something is not right in the world.
I think it's
And
called the Auto Union.
It's yeah, right. So, I mean, that is like I said, and it's really sad. I mean, I'm not even trying to make fun or anything here, because what a travesty that. And I've said it over and over again. Here cover comes. I think the car actually looks really good. I actually like it. The problem is everything that goes along with it, and they screwed this up. Even if Ford make it more usable, they really screwed this up. And it really actually bothers me because it's got, to me, a really cool vibe. And with all that aside, and I'm not being paid by anybody, I assure you, it doesn't make any sense where, first of all, these stories are lies. Two, you want to have a lower price car and then jack up the options. That's the loss. Is how the old thing works,
Exactly.
Get them in for the XL. Next thing you know, they're going out in the Lariat because you're not making that payment. Just bump it up $100. And we're all happy. Fine. It always seems to work that way. And it just is what it is. We all want some more. You don't start here, but comparing it to BMW, and of course you have the 4 Series, the two-door version. You have the Grand Coupe and all that stuff. I would never think of like that. If I got a BMW, I'd want probably a 5 Series. I do like, as you know, 2 doors, but the point is that's a funky one to be beating even this. Yeah. And they're not cheap. So people are saying, why spend, like I said earlier, why spend X amount for this, like the Durango, when I could buy this? I got 115 grand ready to go. I assure you, maybe there's some Porsches out there. Corvette. You just said it best. Now, I'm not a Corvette guy, really.
But yeah, it's still a Corvette.
It's still a Corvette. Exactly. Yeah. Go with the dark horse. I'd be out there. I mean, so I really don't have an actual. I'm just, like I said, I don't have a real rational answer.
There is none.
No.
The thing is, I actually have done multiple videos when they announced this car. Multiple videos when they did I did a video on the stupid launch of the electric thing. And I've literally never wavered in what I've said. I said, this car will be a failure. The electric will definitely be a failure. And then trying to make a Temu BMW with a Temu inline 6, you're going into a very bad, you're going to a market you can't win. You can't go into an inline twin turbo 6 market and think you're going to go, we're going to do great with a performance car when there's BMW over there who's been now perfecting the inline twin turbo 6 for what now, 20 years? Yeah, it's been 20 years now since they've been working on that. And the B58 is an indestructible engine. We know it is. The people know that car. They know they can beat the hell out of the car. They'll keep going. You get, and what's the difference between bringing your BMW into a BMW dealership or going into a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership? There's a slight bit of difference the way you're treated.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of difference the way you're treated. You paid the same money, but you get treated like garbage when you go to that Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. And when you go to BMW, you get treated very nice. You get coffee. They ask how you're doing. You sit down and have nice music in the background and comfortable chairs. It's a totally different thing. The Charger, and when I saw everything that was happening with it, there was no real base engines. There was going to be all-wheel drive, going to be a heavy car, be very not gas friendly. It's going to use a ton of gas, which it does. You didn't have to be anybody that was inside the business to understand that the car was not going to sell. You just had to be somebody that actually likes cars and watches car history and realize that this car has no chance to sell now. And this is the first year. This is the big boom. Yeah. And then, next year is going to be less. It's just like a movie. Movies have their big weekend. The second weekend, it goes down by half. Even a good movie goes down by half. Sure. And then it goes down by half. Then it goes down by half. Same thing happens with cars. First year is gigantic. 68 Charger. Holy crap. They sold over 100,000 of them. 69, they didn't. No. 69, I think they sold like 60,000. And it's just the way it works.
Of course.
And this is the first year of this car. This is totally
And to add on to that, back when I visited the dealership just to go see these in person, and like that gold green color, whatever, because they're all locked.
yes.
Sucks. Now you would think, who's this sucker victim on the line? I know how this.
Oh,
Works.
they
No,
should come running out there.
The gazebo, like I only saw like 3 guys to begin with. Now here comes some guy rolling up, and he's in front of these cars. Like you would,
Yep.
if it was me, oh, I'd be over there on the point. Like honestly, I'd be getting that up. Even if I'm just making conversations, I mean, I'd be thinking, why is this man here? Okay, I mean, really, who's this individual, right? And I had not one person. I was there for over 15 minutes,
Jesus.
and I had not one person greet me. Nothing. Not even like a call from like the intercom. Because that happens sometimes in dealerships. If someone notices, they will do a call in a bigger lot. And I literally, in peace, walked around these cars.
Jesus.
And you would think, like, if I was a sales manager and I saw this blue Kona driving away, like, hey, anyone get this guy? I mean, that's what shocked me more than anything else. Is I was at peace documenting. I wish they were unlocked. There'd have been more documentation. But that's what got me bored. No pun intended. Even to be more is that nobody even came out to find out what can we do to make this work right now. So
yeah.
So it's a failure all the way around. And
yeah. Well, the thing is, those people on those lots are just beaten at this point because they've had nothing for a few months.
Out. That's a great point, Dennis. Yeah. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the point they've been starving, and
they're in the bucket.
20-cent motor. Yeah, I remember the Dodge dealer in '67. The '68s were on the showroom floor. They had a weird little round lights on the side, front, and rear. They all had an angry face except for the Charger. Yeah, Dodge had a really weird design in '67. They really did. 68. The Charger was such an exception because that was the first car that they just let them what's his name? I can't think of his name all of a sudden. The guy that took over for Virgil.
Oh, hold on. Elwood Engel.
Yeah, Engel. Yeah. Engel, they let him just go. And they just make, they just make something that's sexy. And that's what he came out with. So the rest of the cars were just to be conservative so they could sell them because, Dodge was not doing so great in the mid 60s. They were getting their ass handed to them because they got the early 60s messed them up, and then they just got undercut by Plymouth. Plymouth undercut the hell out of them. So Elwood, yeah, like Jake in Elwood.
I love the little round, the 68 only. I love the side marker items. Government. That was the first year. And, it's funny. I just watched a video. I'm going to send it to you and I'll say his name because I like his stuff. Rare Classic Cars with Adam. He does very cool stuff. He did a whole fuselage video. And love it or hate it, he really likes that. And he talks about a lot of stuff you have and he talks about. And it had to do, he brought up the early 60s. That's what I had to cut on the inside because the early 60s really ruined the bottom line.
Yes.
For future models, basically. And you could tell where they wanted to be sharp and where they had to cut corners.
Yeah, here we go. Barracuda. I know a man in BMW. Oh, I know exactly. This started with the E36s. He cooked his engine. That's when I found out they had a plastic water pump and thermostat housing. Yes, the E36 was the start of this. They had a plastic thermostat housing. I broke the original one on my E36. Uh-oh. And I bought an aluminum one to replace it with.
No, because I'm thinking of my car.
But then BMW later on, as they went up the ladder and up until, still now, they use a lot of plastic in the cooling system, and they actually use plastic impellers on their water pumps. And actually, your Z3 does have, you have a 4. I don't think you have that. The 6 has got it. The 6 has got this piece of. I'm like, what the hell is this? But the water pump itself, the impeller, that is absolutely 100% plastic on BMWs, and they come apart. I had that happen on an X5. It literally came apart inside the engine, and it had no warning. There was no drips or anything. It just came apart on the inside, and so they had no water pump.
Great,
cool. Yeah, it was great, good stuff. Yes, your 71 Imperial is a fuselage car. In fact, hey, I'm glad that's good. You're posting that because this is from Tony Imperial. This is a little get together, and here's I think a 67 Imperial. There is a 71. There is a Superbird over there because you can tell by the black on the hood. This is a cool little car show. I love this. This is some great stuff. And he sent over a bunch of files, and he wasn't here last week, so we couldn't really get into the things. But I love this picture. This thing absolutely. Look at this. This is the 74.
Wow.
This thing that is presence. That is just a beast.
That's the last of an era right there.
That is a beast. That doesn't ride like a truck. That's a comfy ride right there. Look at that.
Wow.
That car is psychotic, and it was a 65. Yeah, I'm so hard with the middle era bodies. But I mean, so yeah, he sent this over, and then where else was it? Here we go. This is the cars, the back of the cars.
Nice.
Just look at it. Look at it though. This is 71. Just look how the fuselage look on this car, and everything's so neat in the back. And Imperial's always had these types of wings on for the tail lights. Even in the 74, they kind of built that in.
Right.
To give it that. Even the 74 was a nice looking car.
Yeah.
It's a coupe, as you say.
Okay.
But I love this 71. This is just, it's just the formal top with the small roof on it. Nice vinyl top that's not black or white. Just lean, mean cruising machine.
And white looks so good on that with the vinyl top. And like white cars today just look like refrigerators. That has a presence. And no rear tube on that. With pre-bumper law, looks beautiful. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, and then of course you have this, which the fronts. And I mean, just look at the 71 is a really neat looking car, but there, too bad the 74s was during that whole really horrible time. Chrysler was onto something with that styling. I really think so. They were onto something. That styling was so elegant looking. Mm-hmm. And the 70, I'm not taking away from the 71 because that's a cool looking car. It's just something about that grille. It's just something about that, and it was just it was really neat looking. So I mean, thank you for sending these pictures, and I'm going to send you a little email, and I think I'll give you a little bit of a treat.
One day, Dennis, you're more than welcome. That one picture I sent you of me crawling out of the window of my mom's 71 Polera. If you ever want to share that, you're more than welcome.
I got to remember where I put it.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just letting you know. I have no problem. Okay. Some things, and it was only like a 9-year-old car back then, but that was just
most people didn't want, and at that point, most people didn't want it.
Heck no, especially after a second gas crisis, and that's an old car. So now you look at it and go, "Wow, it's a shame that rotted away." But oh well.
So let's get into the main thing I was talking about tonight, because that's what we always do. We save the fun stuff for a little while into the show. Because this is bad. The $10 billion takeover that could turn the auto parts business upside down explained. This is bad. And it's not a surprise that this is kind of being floated out there. It's not done. It's not it hasn't even gone to regulation yet. We don't know any more than this has been floated. And just the thought of it being floated, you know how they say when there's smoke, there's fire?
Mm-hmm.
That means there's consolidation coming, because these companies are in trouble. And before I get into this article, though, I'm going to get into why. And why I say that, because this is why. And I saw 20 Cent Motor talking about it. And, he gave all his pennies. He gave his all his change to, Rock Auto? Mm-hmm. Well, Toyota Camry driver finds brakes and rotors on Advanced Auto Parts for $70. Then she goes to Rock Auto. That's insane. And a woman said she would save more than she expected after a company's brake and rotor price online before buying parts at a Toyota Camry. Common car. Toyota Camry, absolutely common car.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't ask for something more common.
No.
2008, there's plenty of them.
Oh, plenty.
The Solaris is the 2-door. And she was looking to buy new brakes and rotors when she stumbled across a wholesale closeout at Rock Auto.
Yep.
She was able to buy a complete set of front and rear for $122.
Yeah.
The whole car,
Yeah.
$122. That includes shipping. She didn't have to leave her house.
Yep.
She didn't have to go anywhere. She didn't have to talk to a clown behind the counter.
Nope.
And that's Rock Auto for you, bro.
Yeah.
You know, the Advance, you know, should I do? So why is Rock Auto so cheap? Because they sell it straight out of warehouses. I mean, that's literally why they do this. So I'm kind of summarizing. And, and the thing is, the only thing is you don't have an individual thing to do. But if you know the part you're looking for, this is a smarter way to buy parts.
Absolutely.
And I really want to know, before I get into this article, like, where you guys buy? I know 20 Cent probably goes to Rock Auto all the time, but where do you guys like getting parts, like local and online? Because I've noticed at my local, I was looking for a trailer hitch, a 2-inch ball, 3/4-inch shank trailer hitch, and I did a search for local, and like Advance came up, and it was $12. Okay, $12 in Advance, that's all right. I go to Advance, there is no $12 trailer hitch ball. It's $27. And I'm like, no, it's a $12 part. And so then I went and I ordered it on Amazon, and I had it to ship to the house, and it cost me $16 with tax and rush delivery. And literally, I didn't leave my house. I didn't have to spend any gas. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I was perfectly happy with that. This is why this stuff is going to be happening, because these companies have literally forgotten how to actually service a customer.
Right.
Online parts shopping is killing auto. Yeah, but the auto parts store is killing themselves.
Right.
They are absolutely creating their own problem by not being competent. Not having competent people at the counter, not having competent people build their website, not having good websites, not having transparent pricing. Advanced Auto Parts may be the worst. Advanced Auto, and I'm going to sit here for a rant on Advanced, because I actually did a video on Advanced, because they are not a healthy company. Advanced Auto Parts may be the shadiest of all the companies, because if you go into the store, you're going to pay 15 to 20% more than me ordering it ahead of time and driving to the store. That's shady. I don't like that. That's really bad business. I don't buy there unless I get stuff discounted. Like, literally, if my car broke down and Advance was right there, but then there was an O'Reilly a quarter mile down the road, I'd walk to the O'Reilly before I walked into that Advance. All day long, twice on Sunday, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd walk to the Napa that's a half mile away before I walk into that Advance. Advance is, they have very dirtbag policies about the way they price. You are getting ripped off when you go in there and buy stuff, because you go online, you get a 15 to 20% coupon, and you save money. Now they took that off of oil. They used to have it on oil, and they took it off of oil. So you can't get a discount on oil anymore. So you know what I do? I order my oil online. Literally, it's in sealed cases. Can't be fake. It's the real thing. I just buy it online and have it shipped to me. I don't go to there. I don't go and play their price games, their shell game with the oil. They never have the weight you need. Like, literally, they have weights that just, I'm like, what is this for? Like, they have weights for newer cars, and I'm like, who in a 2025 is going to be changing their oil? Yeah. I mean, no. This is, Napa gives, was it 10 or 20%? I know I use it all the time. I go, and that's why I'll go to Napa, because I'll get a discount immediately and don't have to jump through a hoop. But I mean, this is absolutely a travesty at this point, and independent shops are gone. Yeah. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you saw an independent parts store? And
I think in my head, I think it was off of Fletcher. What was it? some certain speed shop. My friends and I would go there all the time. They had the Chiltons, the books. They were halfway competent because at least it was a speed shop.
Right.
Roses, wasn't it? Roses Speed Shop?
Yes. And they're gone.
Yeah,
and they're
long
gone.
And it's funny you bring it up, and it's not to demean anyone because I actually stopped in, as you know, about my gas can conversation earlier. And nice young lady, probably knows a lot about cars. And so I'm not, like I said, but it's funny how you go in there to some of these shops sometimes, you don't get sometimes competent folks. And it feels like even 30 years ago, before the internet and looking for parts, and they had to bust out that book and, look forever. Now you have at your fingertips everything. And yet you will stand in line. And first of all, there's like only 2 people in there. So it's not really their fault. But I'm thinking there's still 3 people deep waiting to find a part when we have all of this now. Okay. Yeah. And that's the sad thing. And I think I forgot if it was G Canada or somebody else brought it up. When I first moved back here, or 7 years, I needed wipers. And I should have just ordered them. And I bought them at, I think, AutoZone. And luckily they were kind of on sale. But 2 wipers were like $27.
Yep.
And again, I had to do it. I procrastinated. It is what it is. I gave him some business. I gave him a great review because the lady was awesome in many ways. But that's how they sell these. Meanwhile, order. Why would you ever pay that if you didn't make a mistake like I did? And who does it?
So dabbling Ed Rooney, spot on, because I went in with my buddy and we wanted to buy a brake line for a Plymouth GTX.
Mm-hmm.
And the 20-something behind the counter looked at us and said, "What's a Plymouth?"
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, we're done here. Have a nice day. I mean, literally at that point, if you don't know car brands,
right,
you have no business being back there and trying to get me parts, because that means you don't know what a part looks like.
Right.
And that's really scary, because honestly, they if they don't know a brand, how do they know the difference between, I'm trying to think, like a disc brake rotor or a friggin' drum brake, or a drum brake. How? I mean, they may not. I mean, they literally may not have the concept in their head that there could be a different type of brake.
Good
like
point.
They have drums and no. And this is really their downfall. This is all the companies, to a degree, really have this problem, and this is why this type of stuff's going to start happening. And I'm terrified of it, because once you start getting less of them, it actually gets worse.
Yeah,
and that's where we're heading. That's where we're heading with this. I mean, there's no other way around it. So,
and no one's walking in like asking for parts on an Essex or an Oakland. We're not talking about that kind of like okay, only we would know what those are. Okay, I mean, most people though should know what a Tucker is, or I'm even just saying. But the bottom line is that a Plymouth, that's still within the last 30 years here of.
Yeah, no, the last Plymouth was built in the early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. So a car person should know. It's like us growing up. We still knew what a Studebaker was, even though we didn't live with Studebaker. Same thing.
Yes, Barracuda, that is actually kind of true. Some people in the behind-the-counter and parts stores can't communicate with you in English. Yeah,
that's
true. A problem we have here. Yeah, it's kind of an issue. We don't have Menards. I actually get my wiper blades on Amazon. I only buy silicone wiper blades, especially in Florida. The silicone doesn't get damaged by the sun, and it actually works really good on water.
Oh yeah, no, it was just purely me procrastinating.
I know. I'm just saying though, he gets a Menard.
But he's right though. You always right. There's no reason to pay what I did.
No reason at all.
You're right. The silicone ones, they do. You're supposed to actually replace them down here less than probably twice a year. They get so baked sometimes.
A Borgward Isabella Coupe. The hell is?
See, that's out there. That's
wow. That's a stumper. That's a stumper right there. Hold on. Now I'm intrigued, and see what you guys do. You get me off. You get me off on track here, because I love cars. And
well, what are you looking up? Who made Essex, Dennis? Who made Essex? My grandfather owned one, actually. You probably, I mean, it's a random worthless trivia. Hudson, it was there.
Hudson, yeah, the Hudson Essex Company.
Mm-hmm.
So here is this car. This car's gorgeous. Oh my God, I don't even know where this is from. Open do tab. Let me take a look at this thing. Nah, it looks. Is it? I don't know. Is it Italian? Let's take a look. We'll do it. We'll get to the thing in a second. All right. What the hell?
Wow.
That's stunning.
Yeah.
That is absolutely stunning. It's German. See the Steinbuck?
Yeah.
Steinbuck. It's German. Well, it must have been built actually pretty well. I mean, it's German. This is on, and there's actually one for sale. Is this actually on Bring a Trailer? Let's see. Oh my God. There are actually some for sale. There are not a lot of them. Holy crap.
Wow.
And this is like in England.
Wow.
Wait, I got to show this. This is insane. So this one is like 12,000 pounds. Jade green original color. Wow. Spelled wrong. Look at that though. I mean,
that's
48. It has no miles on it. Wow. It is absolutely. Here's one for 40,000 pounds. A coupe.
Oh.
Wow.
There's a cabriolet.
Ooh, the cabriolet, 83,000 pounds.
Yeah,
now we're getting some money. Look at that, 58. So they made them up to the early 60s. It looked like. Wow. Nice.
Very nice.
It's a nice looking car. I've never heard of them before. Nope. It's a nice looking car. Wow. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Cool. Jesus.
So O'Reilly is looking to buy Napa. That's interesting.
Yeah. So let's get back to this because this is insane. Yes, Sky Spectre. Sometimes I do get stumped, especially when it's a very obscure foreign car. Yeah. Or even an obscure American car. Because, once it gets before 1940, my mind is like, I need to save it for the later stuff.
Before you go on, Dennis, one of my favorite channels is actually Big Car, because all he really does are vehicles from across the pond. And, most of these we've never had over here. And he does a great presentation, and it's so cool to learn about, even if it's a German Ford or an English Ford or whatever, they're not our cars. So he does all sorts of cool stuff. Even if it's a BMW, it's not like the ones we got. So he's a great presenter, and he loves appliances. But other than that, and I think he lives in Seattle now, but he's really that's why I love watching him, because it educates me on vehicles that I have no knowledge of whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. Wait. Now. Wait. My favorite person from down under, Purvis Eureka. That doesn't even. That sounds perverted, actually. What the hell? Oh, I've seen these. Oh my God, I've seen these. Hold on. I gotta get a picture up. This is insane. This is insane. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these, Fluno, but here we go. Let me pop them on. Just pop this up. Go here. All right. So this is a Purvis Eureka.
Oh,
a little sports car.
Wow.
Made it. Yeah, a VW based. And the neat thing is, look, the cockpit lifts up.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've seen these before. I didn't know what they were called.
That's great.
Wow. Oh, look at that. That's all business inside.
That is, yeah.
Wow. Go away. Wow. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And it's a Volkswagen based flat 4 in it. It's just a cool looking car.
That's like a Brooklyn meets a Pantera meets I don't know what else, but it has that.
Yeah, I don't know what
very wedge, the wedge look.
This is that super wedge look from back then. My God, though, that is a cool car.
I
Thank
like
you.
that. Absolutely.
Thank you
Cool
for
beans.
bringing that to my attention. That is freaking cool. All
Where
right,
was it
so
made?
let's get
Where was it
back to
made?
this. What?
Where was it made?
Made in where are you? Where are you made? No, get rid of you. Get rid of you. Hold on, I gotta get back to it. It has to be English company.
Okay.
Made in it was made in England.
Okay.
Victoria, and then wait, they produced it was English, but they made them in Victoria, Australia
Oh.
for wow, 17 years. Holy
Hmm.
crap. Who knew? Huh. It was a version of the UK Nova. Wow. Look at that. That's crazy. So that's a call from down under.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's get back to this nonsense because this is nonsense. So what's happening now, O'Reilly might buy Napa, which would affect the aftermarket parts business is more ways than you might realize. This is actually kind of a scary thing. There's only 4 major auto parts retailers left in America. Now think about that for a second. There's
Yeah.
only 4 of them. We all
Yep.
know the 4. This
Right.
is scary. O'Reilly's reported looking at spending $10 billion to get Napa under its umbrella. That would be a particularly interesting auto parts industry moment because even though both brands are similarly known for being brick and mortar car part places, O'Reilly and Napa fundamentally do business very differently. Yes, they do. Before you get into the distinction between Napa and O'Reilly, I always think it's O'Reilly's, but no apostrophe S. Here's the important context of the new download. O'Reilly is big. If this thing didn't stop jumping, why are you doing this now? I'm trying to educate people. Why computer? Why? I hate computers. I hate Microsoft. O'Reilly is a big public trade company that runs all its stores with a high level of corporate consistency. Napa has a corporate franchise hybrid model, so many locations have a little more of a private store vibe, like mine. They have 45 to 6 of the 6,000 stores are that way. Not the corp mothership, which is Napa's case, is Genuine Parts Company (GPC). Napa parent GPC also runs a company called Motion that sells industrial parts to factories. Okay. Back in February, GPC indicated that it wanted to separate its auto and industrial operations more cleanly. I hadn't seen much chatter about it until today when I caught reports that O'Reilly Automotive made a bid for JPC's cart bid operations, which could be worth more than $10 billion or more. Jesus. GPC didn't exactly put Napa up for sale. It announced plans to spin it off, which basically is making it available to be for sale. O'Reilly appeared to be preempting the next evolution with its rival by trying to buy it. Now, why does this matter beyond potentially changing parts store signage? Well, let's go a little deeper. Napa hybrid franchise setup leans heavily on the commercial mechanic market. Yes, this is where your professionals are going to get their parts when they repair your car. That's always been a big thing for Napa to do this. So having more experienced part counter workers, the old school guys who actually know what tower it is, and high tier OEM quality housing brands like Carlisle or Echelon, which is actually very good. Oh my God! Stop dancing. O'Reilly is a corporate-owned powerhouse that has grown rapidly, absorbing regional chains for decades like CSK Auto, Checkers, which I remember, Shucks, Kragen in 2008. While it has great inventory tracking, O'Reilly stores tend to have more standardized corporate retail experience. Actually, O'Reilly's haven't been bad. They're better than Advanced and AutoZone from the way I look at it. And come on, come with me. O'Reilly versus Napa, which one's better? A frequently auto parts customer. I had pretty good experience with both of them, and so do I. The beginning guys when I go to when I lived in Los Angeles, it was first name basis with the counter clerks at multiple O'Reillys, and they were always super helpful. But you get some Top Gun old timers that counter at Napa. I remember going to Napa near Lake Tahoe one winter and ended up discussing the merits and chemical makeup of different antifreeze brands with a Napa employee for ages. There you go. All to say, oh my God. All that to say, if O'Reilly did Ben Napa, it would be interesting to see how if it stuck with one in the franchise model or even the branding, or if it squashed it. If the indie-owned Napas go away, car culture could lose not just the warmth of Napa, local speed shop feel, but also an avenue for enthusiasts-owned parts shops to exist. Then again, maybe it doesn't matter since anyone can theoretically market car parts from anywhere online, which is what's happening at this point. So let's see. Yeah, everybody at O'Reilly does look the same. Speaking of being anywhere, GPC automotive division spans more than 10,000 locations globally, and O'Reilly has spent more in the last couple of years quietly exploring expansion into Canada and Mexico. The Green brand's $10 billion bid could also serve as establishing an international parts empire. So what happens next? So they announced it. Reports indicate a Napa acquisition deal could be done by late summer, but it would be tough to tell how realistic that is. Antitrust and anti-monopoly laws should prevent O'Reilly from wholesale gobbling up Napa. In fact, I found some stats that there are about 1,800 O'Reillys that are within 1 mile of a Napa. And actually, where I live, the O'Reilly is literally catty corner from my Napa. It is literally 600 feet away. So yeah, and then the Advance is next to that. So there are about let's see, there are 600 of those where there is no other AutoZone or an Advanced Auto Parts nearby. So 600 neighborhoods, they would basically have a monopoly. Yeah. There'd only be one car company. So once again, here we go. But buy stuff online from carparts.com or Rock Auto. The stock market response to this writing, GPC stock is up and O'Reilly's is down. Of course, when you make the acquisition, it always makes go. There's a lot of question marks around the situation, but it's going to try to keep an eye on. Maybe O'Reilly ends up inheriting Napa Parts brand and Carlisle Tools, or maybe Napa gets shuttered and ends up becoming Advanced Auto Parts, or AutoZone locations satisfy regulators. That's not going to happen. Advanced is cutting stores, and AutoZone's not expanding. As it stands, O'Reilly's has Wall Street's attention, carrying a market valuation of $77 billion. And of course, Napa has been struggling hard, hit by high supply chain costs and economic volatility. His stock is lagging, leaving the whole conglomerate valued at just $16 billion. I tend to think fewer competitors is worse for consumers in the long run. So my neighborhood Napa doesn't have parts on the shelf. They usually can get them within 24 hours. I also rather support local than multinational models. I can. So this is really not great news. That this is even being suggested at this point is terrifying because, but they did it to themselves. And wait, let me do this one comment here, Jack and Rod. Advance has barren shelves. Yes, you know why? Because Advance was their main supplier was First Brands. And Napa is a company that I saw some spin. I saw some gaslighting today. That's why I didn't bring any articles. It was gaslighting about their turnaround. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything from them saying, that showed me that they had a great turnaround. Their website still sucks. The service there still sucks. And now their supply of stuff sucks. So I'm like, I don't understand that. And with their First Brands tie-in, they're just not going. They're not going to be long for this world. They're not healthy. They closed like 1,000 stores, and I mean they're still very big, but I just can't see them surviving with the way that they're doing their business. Like I said before, they charge you one price if you walk in, but they charge you a different price if you bought it online and waited a half hour.
Right.
That's not right. That's not right at all.
Yeah. Dennis, real quick, is it me or did it just come out of nowhere at one time, or did it acquire? What is the story with
O'Reilly? What they did is that they grew their way quickly. They bought a bunch. They were like Checker Automotive. Okay. They bought all them. They bought a lot of the smaller regionals and just grew.
Okay.
And they kind of have a weird niche in the market is that they actually have more of the old car parts, just like Napa does. Advanced and AutoZone are terrible in old car parts. Mm-hmm. And it's just that they're very good marketing. They have a decent website, but they do have good marketing. Like I get a lot of deals from them where I get like $10 off if I spend 20.
Right.
Constantly I get stuff like that, and they make you go in. So they're very good. They're very aggressive, in a good way, because you actually get a deal there. And it's not that it's, and they just were very aggressive in their growth, but they were going to an area where they could do well with their way they market. Like where I am, I have 2 Advanced Auto Parts, which I don't understand. 2 Advanced Auto Parts, an AutoZone, a Napa, and now I have an O'Reilly. And then, that's what I had. So O'Reilly came in, and their marketing does good against the other 2, Advanced and AutoZone. And Napa, they have their corporate business, so they don't really care as much. Okay. Thrifty Auto, I think, is gone. I don't think I've seen. Wait. Thrifty. If you're talking about the parts sales, no, they're gone. And so is Pep Boys. Pep Boys no longer sells parts. All they just fix cars. They don't sell parts anymore.
Wow.
And it's like, okay. And they don't even do that well. I asked the Pep Boys by me.
Years. I used to use them for tires and stuff.
I asked the Pep Boys by me to turn a rotor, and they said it would take 2 days. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to build me a rotor. I want you to turn a rotor.
Right.
It takes 20 minutes. You put it on a machine, go zzz, 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 and you just walk away. Yeah. I'm not taking your day up, man. It literally it takes 20 minutes.
But there you go, Dennis. That also adds to the reason that the decline, because of that type of, like he just said it to you. Probably didn't even know. I mean, you should know what turning a rotor is, but he probably said,
it's a service center. It's not a parts store. It's a service center.
Okay.
But the thing is, you used to be able to go to a parts store and get a rotor turned.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was a thing. Sure. Because when I grew up in Staten Island, all the parts stores, you brought a rotor in and they turn it, and you're good.
Well, and here's something else I just thought about that probably is affecting all this. Like when I get my new tires for the Lincoln, when I get them sent to me, then I'll think about this. Walmart Automotive. Okay, I'm not. There's plenty of parts. And actually, I've had some very nice help there, competent. So you add that to the mix as well. It hurts the Advances and the Pep Boys and other things too.
Well, the only problem with Walmart is that you have to get don't ever buy tires there, because they have special tires just made for them.
Oh, really?
They're not the same as what you get on Tire Rack or these other places. They're not the same tire.
Oh.
And you're not getting the same quality. So there is a reason for that. So always be wary. But for a lot of other stuff, I mean, you go into Walmart, you could buy mobile oil cheaper than any of the other places. I mean, this is the thing. These parts stores have literally pissed away their advantage quickly. I mean, this happened you realize this happened in less than 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this literally happened that fast, where parts stores are now incompetent. And it's really sad, because this was the place you went, and and they used to have books that you could look in, and you look in the book, and that's how you knew what to do. It was really a good thing to have that book. I really don't like the computer, because the computer is only as good as the person that programmed it. And if that person has no idea what they're putting in that computer, it doesn't matter.
True.
Because I have seen, all right, great example, O'Reilly. Front disc brakes for my car, right? They had power stops for a 1972 Challenger. You go to a Charger, there's no power stops. Front rotors. A Charger and a Challenger are the same car.
Mm-hmm.
Literally from the firewall forward, they're identical. There's no difference between the two cars. The brakes are the same.
Sure.
Literally, they're identical. And I'm like, okay, once again, only as good as the programmer. Because they only put the Challenger one in there. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that fits the Charger too. It fits a 71 and 72 Charger easily.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same brake. And it's just like it's terrible. And it's like when you have stuff like that, they don't know what the parts belong to or how they fit. this is their own. They've made their own bed, and now they're laying in it, and they're wondering why everybody's shopping online.
Right.
Because you guys don't. Where's the value? Here's the thing. Where's the value added? I had to get out of my house. I had to drive there, deal with people, which I don't like. I had to deal, especially on the road. I don't like dealing with people, especially here. But I have to deal with people. I have to go in there. I have to wait. And then I have to go and I have to explain what I want to do. And then I have to wait for them to get me the part. And then I'm like, this was an hour of my life, and it's only 2 miles. It's an hour of my life I really wish I had back. And I'm just like, yeah, yes, G Canada. I do like cars better than I like people. That is actually a real thing. I love cars. I tolerate people. I love cars. Yeah, exactly. I said to my AA manager, "Oh my, Shell Rotella 39 at AA, $25 at Wally World." Yeah, they do that all the time though. They like, and you can't even get a discount on the oil anymore, even though they're ripping you off, because they are ripping you off. I mean, it's actually kind of sad. But when you look at how they have positioned themselves, that they literally have driven the especially the hardcore car guy, they have driven that person away. They drove them away a while ago. But now, because of the way they do things, like that Camry owner, she's not a hardcore car guy. No. She's a person who wants to fix her car. And those people are going, my mother just orders stuff online. She's like, hey, I need this. Can I order it? And like, yeah, this is it right here. And I sent it, and she has links sent to our house. Right. Doesn't have to go anywhere. She's sent to our house. And it's like it's literally as simple as that. That now the normies are getting forced away by the way they do their business. Especially when you catch on that Advance Auto will rip you off if you don't buy it ahead of time. Really not cool. That is. I
never knew they had that business model.
Yep. If you go to the website, it says 15% off or 20% off, or they'll send you an email and get that. But you can't use it in store. You have to buy it online and then go to the store.
Oh no! Just have it sent to my house. Have it shipped.
That's what I look at it, I price it, and then I go to Amazon and I had the damn thing sent to me.
There you go.
That's how I bought by spark plugs. I'm not going like NGKs. I paid $4 a piece for the NGKs for my car. It's a V8, $32. That's a lot of money for spark plugs. My local stores, it would have been $8 a piece.
Right.
Now we're talking $64 for some spark plugs.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not really down with that.
No.
Yes, yes, Rooney. Yes, you got to pay a premium to talk to that dumbass behind the counter. Yeah, that's like part of the experience, like going to Disney and meeting the characters. Well, yes, 20-cent motor. You love that stupid car. You love me. Yeah. What's wrong with that? Exactly. I've actually had this conversation.
I hate to say it. I think they actually, in some ways, and it's amazing how many people I know like this, whether it be 50 or even 25. I always joke about my dad having more tech stuff than I did, but especially in our age bracket, Dennis, I've noticed that some people just don't want to mess with what we're working with right here, right? So you go to the parts store, and sometimes they think that's the real way to do it. No, not really. It's not being mean, but why would you want to go through this when, like I said, we'll use Michael's procrastination example. That's different, but no. But there are people who literally still want to go, I think, and are afraid of ordering something. And I'm thinking Sears Roebuck did it in the 1880s. I mean,
exactly.
It's the same concept, just with pencil and paper. So I don't understand, but that's what maybe is also helping these stores stay afloat, are those that just have to go.
So the other day when I was working on that Devil car doing the brakes, we needed to get brake lines. And we went in, and they had some selection of brake lines in the back. I mean, it was friggin' pathetic. And if I had been able to plan ahead, I could have just had nice ones sent. But I went to the guy. So how's it been? He's like, it's dead. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I felt. And this was O'Reilly, and it was just dead. And I mean, granted, it was a Thursday, but still, it was dead. And there's just no. The traffic is really not. I've gone into my O'Reilly's on a Saturday. I was the only person in there on a Saturday. I walked into the store, and I actually had a full conversation with the manager because there was no one coming into the store. And it was sunny out. I mean, it wasn't even like it was nasty. It was a normal day. And I'm like, wow, how you guys staying afloat? I mean, this is like, how do you stay afloat at this point? And it's, where I live. I don't live in a small area.
No,
I'm not in a tiny
all.
town.
No.
And and like I said, I named all the parts stores. There's only 4 of them. 4? 5. There's 5 of them. There's only 5 of them. And there's a lot of people here. And on a Saturday, that you can walk in and nobody else be in the store, which is insane to think about. It's just really, it's not a model. And that's a lot of money they're throwing around. I don't think it's going to go through because I can't see, our, governments create monopolies because they overregulate. But at times they have to realize that they screwed up, and they're not going to let this happen because you can't have 3 suppliers. You just can't. And in areas you will have only 1 supplier. You just can't. And the obstacles to get into a brick and mortar store at this point are insane. It's insane to get into a brick and mortar store. Because I saw an idiot in Congress wanting to raise the minimum wage to $25 an hour. Why don't you just make it $1 million an hour?
Yeah, you know what? Right.
Just make it $1 million. Be done with it. Everybody be a billionaire with his $1 million an hour. It's stupidity. And now those brick and mortars have to pay, the guy that's drooling in Florida. I think it's $14 an hour for him to sit there and drool. No, I mean this is
taxes and rent and everything else that goes into it. The utilities, right?
Yeah, it's not even so. Jack and Rod, yes, survive because wipers and batteries. True, because they're a need item. But I always drag my batteries out, and I just order them on Amazon. I got a battery for my charger, AGM, more than enough power to start that car up. $140. I'm not even gonna. I can't even buy a regular battery for $140.
No,
and I'm like, whatever. There's only a few manufacturers in the world. Hopefully, I got them on a good day. Who cares? There's a warranty with it. Whatever. I'm like, whatever. Because the battery at Advanced Auto Parts that I had bought for $150 like 6-7 years ago was now $270. And I'm like, you know what? And they don't take, and no more discounts on batteries. No more discounts on batteries. You cannot use the 15% off on a battery. And it's horrifically bad. I'm like, whatever. So that's a great tip for me. Buy your batteries online. Buy an AGM battery, spend it $140, and and if you take care of it and you're nice to it, it'll last like 8 years, and you'll be okay. Because I don't go to the parts stores and buy and spend $300 on a battery. You're just a sucker at that point. Let's see. The Barracuda 3769. The rotors on my 71 Valiant have been skimmed 3 times over the years. They warp releasing when you get hot. I must replace them some. Yeah. Well, you just need to replace them with the same thing. Just, make sure they still have some meat left on them. Because that's why they have a minimum thickness, because of the heat disbursement. Because they don't have enough heat they don't have enough metal to get rid of the heat. So, or you just don't use the brakes a lot. That's another way to keep. See, because people that do the minimum wage thing don't understand how economics work. They kind of don't grasp that the money doesn't fall out of trees. It actually is made from commerce, and if you cost the thing of doing commerce more, the price of everything goes up, because that's the way life works. It's very simple. It's not a hard concept, except for politicians, I guess. So yeah, I mean, but this is where we are now with part stores. We are now in this weird zone where they're going to start cannibalizing each other, and now we're just gonna be leaning more on online. But I mean, the thing is, with like, as much as I hate to use Amazon, the way my traffic is in my area, I use Amazon. I actually don't support local because I can't.
Right.
My sanity is worth more than the mom and pop store down the street. I can't deal. I can't deal with bad traffic, and it's so I mean, I order on Amazon and they've got it down to a science. I usually get the part if I need next day, I get it next day. 2 days, I get it in 2 days, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to leave my house, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually very okay with that because there's no advantage me going to this part store and having the guy look at the computer and trying to ask me 16 questions when I'm trying to get a spark plug. It's like it doesn't matter what it goes into because your computer will be wrong. My
Sure.
car does not use standard spark plugs. It's not even in the slightest is it using a standard spark plug. And yeah. Oh, see, this is a problem. Barracuda has a lot of hills. Well, you are New Zealand, so yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, they get hot. You're gonna have to upgrade if you can find like something that's slotted, not drilled, slotted, and then go to a ceramic pad. You should have a little bit of a better chance there to be able to break the heat up. I think you'd be able to get slotted. Don't get drilled though because they'll crack from the heat. So that's a little tip there. The battery for my Caddy is over. Oh yeah, the newer Cadillac too. Yeah, actually, it's a fun fact that the Escorts, the Ford Escorts, not the ones that are in the hotels. No, the Ford Escorts their batteries were special because Ford had spec'd a lower, wider battery than anything else was on the market, so it fitted up front in the car. I remember trying to buy a battery for my EXP. And I almost passed out because it was over $100 when the
Mm-hmm.
regular battery was like $60. And my grandfather was like, "Yeah, those are special." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Really?" I even got a brake on it. And I'm like, "This is insane." Oh, here we go. Look at that. 20-cent motors, 4 rotors on Rock Auto. Absolutely. Ceramic pads are not that expensive. They've come down a lot, and they last so much longer than the regular ones. No, Canada, they're not that bad. Maybe in Canada, I mean, in your pesos, they're expensive, but they're not. They're not that much more here. I have ceramics on the front of my truck. They're fine. I have ceramics on the front of my BMW. They're fine. It wasn't much more. It was maybe 20% more, but it's worth it because they don't make all the dust, and they literally do last longer because they actually do dissipate heat a lot faster. So, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is where but honestly though, I mean, to think about this, that, we used to have so many, was it Big A? Was it Big A? Was it the, auto parts store? Big A Auto Parts. You had,
Western Auto.
Western Auto. I mean,
Yeah.
you had all these, and they're all gone. Every last one of them's gone now.
Yeah.
And this is when consolidation is a really bad thing. And now we're at more consolidation where we're at the point where they, Advanced Auto Parts is kind of teeter-tottering, and you may see something happen there. So,
wasn't Advanced originally Discount, if I'm correct? Wasn't that originally?
Yes, they changed their name from Discount to Advanced because it sounded better.
Sure.
Because, it was Discount. I remember when they bought Western Auto. Western Auto was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I bought
the arrow pointing down. Yeah, I still remember those.
I bought my KYB shocks for my Charger at a Western Auto up in Hernando County, and they were cheap. I mean, honestly, the 2 shocks were like $30 each. That was $60. I got a pair of good shocks, which I painted black immediately when I got home, so nobody can know they were in there.
Well, heck, even they weren't a full retail store, but Sears Automotive, that was a long time. I mean, you got your car done, you got the batteries, you got the things you kind of needed, but that's long gone too.
Listen to the Big Shot with fancy ceramic
Yeah,
pads.
some of us plebs just have
Yeah.
asbestos.
Here, 20-cent motor. Man, he went down. 4
Yeah.
rotors and a distributor for a slant. Rebuilt or all new. The rebuilt gives $50 core charge. Both are $130. I saved $15 by eliminating one. Yeah. Sometimes it pays to buy the new one. You don't even bother to rebuild. Screw it, because it's only a few dollars more and there's no core. I hate the core thing. It's such a pain.
Yeah.
Yes. That's actually where the starter. I went into the Charger because I put a Dakota starter in there. I bought a brand new one. I was like, I'm not gonna put a used one in. Screw this. It was like $20 more, and I don't have a core. I'm like, I don't have a core. All I have is I have a bunch of old Chrysler starters that, they're good for holding a boat down. I'm like, no. God. Let's see. Oh yeah, Chief Auto Parts. Oh, I was out in the Midwest. I love this. Yeah, Chief takes care of you like you take care of your car. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Oh yeah, I've got yeah. G Canada complaining about having Canadian pesos. Here we go. Barracuda. Holy mackerel. Speaking of Ford Escorts, they're remaking the late 60s two-door Mark I. Yeah, I heard this. It only costs the same as a new McLaren. Oh, that's it?
Oh, that's
so
great.
you could have the classic Escort for only the price of a new McLaren. Jesus.
Wow.
That's embarrassing.
That's ridiculous. That doesn't even make sense.
But those Mark I Escorts are actually very, very desirable.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I know. That's a little expensive. That's a lot expensive. Jesus.
Believe it or not, of all my supercars, Ferraris, I always have loved McLarens because they're so not mainstream supercars. That makes sense. Like you're just
well, now they are though, because in Tampa I see them all the time.
Really?
I literally see I see McLarens all the time. I'm kind of bored of seeing McLarens. Auto Value. I don't think I had Auto Value in my areas.
No.
New York or here, I don't remember Auto Value. I think that was Midwest. I actually in Staten Island though, I had mainly independent shops. I mean, we had a Napa. And we had a bunch of other independents. I'm trying to think, and we had Pep Boys. I know we had Pep Boys too.
Boys. Mm-hmm.
That was a northeastern thing. But honestly, yeah, I mean, most of them were independents. And independents were great because, you talk to that guy.
I was thinking about that again. It was on Fletcher next to you near USF. There was a laundromat. I can see it right now. My buddy with his T-Bird, we go in there, and it was that. I think it was still smoked inside back then. It was that classic independent parts store. Yeah, Rose's Automotive.
Yeah, so that's the whole. Yeah, so there. That was the big bombshell of the week. Is that the consolidation starting to come now for the auto parts stores because wait, G Canada, do you think the Focus RS with the 2.3 turbo will worth some serious money someday? The RS, it wasn't very widely sold. It's probably going to be one of those unintentional collector cars because they just did not a lot of them got sold. And the thing is, it's still simple enough. I think that's the all-wheel drive one, but it's still simple enough and small enough that, and it also plays better with people under 50. This isn't a boomer. That's not a boomer car. A Focus RS is not a boomer car. So that car actually has a chance of having some sort of value because it's just one of those cars. It's just like the Supras, the Supras from the 90s. I mean, those are hot now. You can't touch one of those cars. No. You just can't. They're expensive, but they're phenomenal cars. And for that generation, they are the general. They are the car. And this, I think that RS will probably be the same thing. It has that same kind of tone as the Subarus, because Subarus have a huge following too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And it's that same kind of it's that rally thing. Exactly. So I think they can actually. Look at 20-cent motor. This is the way it was, man. Napa in a hometown with stools at the counter and ashtrays.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
I bet that Focus will do better than the Durango
Oh,
that
hell yeah.
115 grand sold for.
Well, you won't be so upside down with that car. Oh, look at this. Of course,
I
it was
drive
right
that
next to the
every day.
bar.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, that Focus will definitely do better than Durango or any of the Hellcats because there was not a big premium on it. It didn't sell very well, and it actually was unintentionally. It's going to be unintentionally collectible because it wasn't very good new. You know, that's kind of what people leave out is a lot of cars that became very collectible. It's just
right.
because they didn't sell.
Exactly right. Like the old saying goes, people didn't want him back then either. I mean, that's kind of how it worked out. I just had to interject. He's so right about the stools because I remember now Roses had to because you have to sit there for a bit with the book.
Yep.
And I did. I smoked in
You
there. You're hanging
sat
out.
there in a stool and you flipped the pages.
Cool, we're here, and you're right. You had to flip through and you had to write it all down. Just a different way. And you know what's also sad about this is look how many. It's like the last. Just one more thing, unfortunately, that we're doing here that is consolidating and corporate and cookie cutter, and we can see about anything out there. And it's just now we're adding automobile parts to the mix.
Yep. I mean, it's just it's not good, and this is kind of one of the problems we're having, is that, and I think that people are starting to get maybe they'll start getting tired of it, and things can start reversing, because the thing is, though, the model is now more of being able to have the stuff shipped in a day or two, and that is literally, I think, where we're going with it, because it's just the overhead is lower and you can service more people quicker.
Right. Yeah.
And the other problem is that you have less. You don't have the overhead. You don't have to have the brick and mortar. You don't have to have the $14 an hour kid that doesn't know what he's doing.
No.
And you could just drop ship it from a warehouse. Now, the thing is there's some online retailers, and a lot of them BMW specific, that are still very, very sluggish and slow. And that's the other area that's going to be a lot of that's going to be something that's going to get hurt very, very, very soon, because I had issues with a BMW retailer that took 7 days to get something shipped to me. Actually, 8 days to get it shipped to me. And I'm like, guys, my car is down. This is the best you can do. I mean, they hit me for shipping, and I'm like, this is the best you can do.
Right.
And the same thing with the old cars. Classic Industries has taken over from year one, and honest to God, they're thieves. They charge as much for shipping as the part.
Sure.
I've literally seen parts where the shipping was more, and I'm like, the thing weighs 4 ounces. How much can it cost to ship? Year one used to take the cake. Year one, I wanted to buy a dipstick from them. A dipstick. It was $15. The shipping they wanted to charge me was $20, and it is in Georgia. It is literally 600 miles from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is where we are.
I did a business in Clearwater real quick, which very well familiar with, good friends, this and that. We'll probably figure it out. But I'm like, I'm going to drive and pick it up. Drive has to do with a car I own. I'm like, I am not paying you all. I'm sorry, guys. Like, they know me, right? I'm not paying $21 for UPS to send me something for the car in the backyard. I'll just come and I'll spend the day and hang out. I mean, really? You're going to charge me $21 from Clearwater to Tampa, Florida? Come on.
Yeah. I remember that is.
No, I was actually not thrilled. Like, wow.
and that's why places like Rock Auto, CarParts.com, Amazon, these are the true competitors at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't even really Amazon. It's those companies, because they're car specific, and their catalogs are very well laid out. Amazon's is not, but theirs are, and you can drill down. And then they have closeout specials. Yes. 20-cent Motor obviously goes out there and hits them hard, which is the way you should do it.
Right? Yeah.
When they have a special on your car, buy everything you can.
Yeah.
Just buy it. Just store it, especially if it's stuff that doesn't go bad. And I have videos on this. Literally, if you have an old car and there's some things are to get, and you see a special, and you can put it in a toolbox and stick it on a shelf, buy it and stick it in a toolbox, put it in a shelf. I have little dividers and stuff filled with small parts because there are things I know I can't get, and I just literally hoard them. So that's where we are. So, on I think with that bombshell of the whole car the car parts buying process is now getting really messed up.
Yeah.
I think it's time to wrap things up tonight,
Sure.
and we'll be reconvening next week. I'll have another video out, a little short on another video. Hopefully, I'll have a video out on that 300G soon because might as well at least have the introduction to this monster of a car. And so we'll start with that. So want to say good night there, Fluno?
Yeah, good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's been another wonderful episode, a lot of great topics, and always nice for the interaction. And wish everybody a great night and a great rest of the week.
Yep, same here. Everybody be safe and enjoy, be safe with this summer weather because it can get crazy. And catch my videos out there. I always ask that because it's kind of what I do. And pass them on to your friends. And if you like it, hype it. So, same with this, hype it, like it. If you aren't subscribing, watch and subscribe. And because I actually do like cars, obviously, because I'm insane. And I will tell you once again that if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, you take that out because you're going to make someone's day. It'll probably be your own. And we will all catch you really, really soon. And bye, Sky Spectre, especially. All right. Have a great one. I don't have a new exit. Outro. I have a new intro. If you liked what you saw, like, subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.